never asked him to kill my husband.
You may not have asked him to kill your husband,
I
Teresa.
never said anything to him about killing my husband.
This is Teresa Stone, the wife of Randy Stone, a wife that would use Randy's best friend to not only cheat on him, but also plan her own husband's murder. And as she is interviewed, Teresa's act of an innocent wife slowly falls apart as detectives discover a deep rabbit hole of secrets, one that goes much deeper than they could have imagined.
I would never do anything to hurt my husband. I love you so much.
Randy's wife, Teresa Stone, and their family pastor, David Love, plotted his murder.
Teresa and Randy Stone, both devout Christians, got married in 1990. Randy would leave the Marines a year after their marriage and start a new insurance company with his beloved wife and newborn son. With Teresa's help, the company began taking off, and they became well known in the community due to their services with their local church, New Hope Baptist. Their life was perfect. Randy loved his family and was ready to do anything for them, but he could never expect the extent of betrayal he would receive, and more so, the fact it would be from his very own wife, leading to his death. On March 31st, 2010, Teresa was headed to her husband's agency office, but this time, something was different. She noticed the blinds were pulled down, which Randy only did when it was dark. Instantly, she knew something bad had happened. Her suspicions grew further when she reached the door and noticed the deadbolt opened with ease, a sign it had been tampered with. She immediately entered her husband's office and saw her husband lying lifeless on the floor, blood pooling around his head. Randy Stone had been shot dead in his own office in broad daylight. Teresa contacted 911, and soon enough, authorities arrived at the scene. Since Teresa was the sole witness, it also made her the sole suspect. As in most homicide cases, the murderer is always someone who knows the victim. In this case, Teresa agrees to an interview and is soon transferred to the police department.
Need some airflow in these things. Hey.
I don't know. It's perfect in here.
Is it? Okay. Like I said, this is Detective Schmidley. Hopefully this won't take long. This is Teresa. Her husband is Randy, who's at the office today. Teresa, we're here to get a formal statement. Again, I talked to you about a lot of stuff out there, but now we gotta get more detail what took place, because you know Randy better than we did, and you also know your lifestyle better than we do. So basically, Randy's your husband. How long have you been married?
Almost 19 and a half years.
Married 19 and a half years. Did you ever have any kind of separation time at all?
No, never.
Okay, 19 and a half.
Well, when we first got married, I guess, because he got activated for Desert Storm.
Oh, that's different. I'm saying.
Other, as far as arguments and fights and stuff,
Right.
or separation, no, never.
Okay.
Never.
You have two kids in common?
Yes.
And that is? Who is
Michael
that?
and Miranda.
Michael and Miranda. Michael's in Florida in college?
Yes.
Is he making arrangements to get up here now?
Yeah, he's supposed to be leaving around 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And Miranda, how old's Miranda?
She's 16.
You said Michael's 18?
Yes.
She's 16.
Yes.
And she goes to school at Tri-City?
Tri-City Christian School, yes.
Okay. This hopefully won't take too long.
That's okay.
I explained things to you pretty much when we was in the car, so.
That's fine.
Anybody else live with you guys besides you and your two children and him?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. You said Randy was in the Marines? When was that?
From 1986 to 1990.
Okay. And he was stationed in Hawaii?
Yeah. Lucky dog.
Hard life, yeah.
I know.
When did you guys get involved in insurance sales?
He's actually been in the business for 15 years. We've been with farmers for, oh, good Lord. Oh. 27. I believe it would have been 13 years next month.
Wow. That's quite a long time.
Looking at Teresa, it does not seem like she just witnessed the murder of her own husband. She looks calm and collected, contrary to how anyone else would behave. In fact, The officer on the scene would later say she was eerily calm, even on the scene, and had no tears on her face, a peculiar sight for someone who supposedly loved her husband. Nonetheless, it could be assumed that she was perhaps shocked and couldn't give a typical reaction. For now, the officers don't have enough information to deduce whether she's the murderer, so they gradually coerce her to reveal more of what she knows.
How did Randy get along with his son?
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. I mean, they had their squabbles and stuff, but
When he got older?
yeah, but more younger, but when they got older, they got really close.
Good.
Especially since he's been off to college. It's been kind of rough on Randy.
Yeah.
He's missed him very much.
Okay. What about your daughter? I've seen on Randy's computer screen, she had little school issues. And he's still trying to help her out there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
It's my mom. He is always trying to help Miranda.
Okay.
Because she struggles a little bit more than my son.
She's daddy's a girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's daddy's girl. She loves her daddy.
Okay. Well, Randy, what about Randy and you? Any issues? I mean, other than what you said, like normal
Yeah.
spats here or there?
No, we hardly ever fight.
Okay.
We hardly ever fight. And if we do, it's for like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're,
Just nothing but a little steam off.
yeah. We used to argue a lot when we were younger, when we first got married. Of course, it's hard when when you're separated for a whole year of your first marriage, and
Yeah.
then your son is born the day after he gets back from the military, and
A lot of catching up to do.
but no, we were very much in love.
What about today? Let's go back not even today. I asked you before, has there been any issues around the office or at home with anybody trying to maybe get themselves into the family, or also anybody that's like maybe a policyholder that's problems or anything like that?
No, and if they do have problems with policies or whatever, they normally do not call us. They always call our district manager.
Okay.
So now Randy he will know from our district manager calling Randy, but Randy really doesn't tell me a lot of that stuff
Okay.
because he doesn't want me to worry.
So you're not aware of any issues, any
No.
customers that would have been through farmers that was having any issues with you or anything like that?
No, he didn't really share a lot of that stuff with me.
Randy was quite popular in his town. Teresa and Randy were both raised as devout Christians and were part of a church called New Hope Baptist for more than 30 years. Teresa would volunteer to cook and sing in the choir, while Randy was the record minister and would manage the finances for the church. He would also volunteer to drive the Sunday school bus and provide classes to the church. So it was no surprise he had no qualms with anyone in the town and was very well perceived by everyone. Randy was described as a family man by many, so much so that his friends often noted that whenever they hung out, he would call Teresa and inform her of everything.
Let's start from the beginning today, okay? And let's go through getting in, going to the business, and what times everyone arrived, and let's kind of walk our way through that, and we'll touch base on things again. But let's just start from the beginning. Your office is open Monday through Friday, or on weekends, anytime?
Here's my schedule.
Okay.
I get in the office at 7:45 every day.
Okay.
The office isn't open till 9. But I always open the blinds. I answer phone calls at 8 o'clock. Or whenever they start ringing, I answer the phone. That's just us. We don't let it go to voicemail.
Okay.
We just don't do that. He came in about...
And you got there this morning,
I got there at 7:45.
7:45?
Yes.
Okay. No one outside, never encountered anyone going into the business?
No one came in except for Dave Eisen, and he came in a little after 8, and the door was still locked because I keep the door locked until 9 o'clock.
Okay. And that's when Randy arrives?
No,
Or just when business opens?
Business opens at 9, so
Right.
I usually unlock the
Okay.
door, especially when I know that he's coming in soon. I usually, sometimes I even forget to unlock it, and he'll be at the front door, and I'll be like, oh crap, I left the door locked. I just, when I'm there by myself, I always lock the door.
That's fine.
It's fine.
And he wants me to, so I always keep it locked. And if I don't recognize them, I know my clients. If I don't recognize them,
It stays locked.
I don't let them in.
So Dave Eisen, and we're talking Dave Eisen who works up at the police
Yes.
department.
Yes, he brought me a blank homicide report to fax to my son because my son needed it for his criminal justice class.
Okay.
So I called him yesterday and he said he would see what he could do and bring it by today if he could.
And how do you know Dave? Just curious.
We went to church
Okay.
for probably 15 years.
Okay. Same church that
Yes,
you're going to now.
same
So
church.
have you been going through that church now for 15 years?
I've been
or
going to New Hope for 30 years.
30 years. And New Hope is, where's that located at?
That is located off of Kentucky and
Whitney.
Whitney. Yes, thank you.
New Hope. Is that, what denomination is it?
Baptist.
Baptist, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you arrive, Dave comes in, he gets you the report for your son. This shortly after 8.
Yes, this is shortly after 8. He leaves about 8:15. Now, I cannot tell you what time my husband called me. It's all on the caller ID at the office.
Okay.
Everything's on the caller ID at the office.
What time was your husband expected to arrive?
Well,
Or what time was he going to get there?
well, he normally gets up in the morning. He works out,
Okay.
and he normally gets in around 10 to 10:30.
Okay.
And that's about the time he arrived.
So he got there between 10. Did he call you?
Oh yeah,
in
he
between
always
that time?
calls me. Oh, I talked to him from our home phone.
Okay. So what time?
Couple times.
You talked to him a couple times this morning then while you were there at the business?
Before he came in?
Before he
Yes,
came in, okay.
Yes, from the home and the cell.
What were the conversations about?
He was leaving to go on a run.
Okay.
I called him and he didn't answer because he was in the shower. So he called me back and I was just letting him know that a client of ours had called and they wanted to cancel their insurance. And they're really good friends of ours and we used to go to church with them, so
Okay.
they wanted to talk to Randy. So I gave them Randy's cell phone number. So Randy was just calling to let me know the situation over that, which it was no big deal, you know. And then he called me when he called me at 9, and I'm sorry, I could be wrong on this time.
That's fine.
He called me about 9:30 and said he was gonna go tan because we were getting ready to go to Florida to see my son. So he was going to tan because they open at 9 o'clock. So I think he went around 9:30 to go tan. Call me.
Where's the tan at?
We tan at Aruba Sun, right off the 24 highway down by the Richards Sunfresh or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So he called me when he was on his way home. I mean, he calls me all the time.
Right.
We call each other all the time and let each other know exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
We always do. And so he called me on his way home, and he called me before he got in the shower. And I called him back, and he was in the shower. Well, he called me back and said that he was getting ready, and that he would be in, you know. And I think it was around 10:30.
Okay.
But he called me when he was on his way. So, and then he got there and.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary except Teresa's behavior. Although the officers don't reveal it now, they have something that could potentially put Teresa on the list of suspects.
And then he left to go get lunch.
Do you remember the last name of the person that had the owner's policy? Or did they put any money down, or?
No.
Okay.
Mortgage company. So we just built a mortgage company, and it was an older guy. He actually owns he is the mortgage company
Okay.
on the home. So he was getting the insurance for the lady that is buying the house. So he was an older man. He was really very nice. And so after he left, Randy comes to my office and we just, you know, talk about business stuff, about what we're gonna do and what my day was gonna be for tomorrow. Cause I'm still training, going to another insurance company and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
still training on the computer. So, and then he decided that he was gonna go get us something to eat. So he left and we got something to eat about 12:30
Okay.
and got back a little after 12:30. We ate and,
Where'd he go to eat at?
oh, he brought back McDonald's.
Oh, he brought back McDonald's.
Yes.
You know which McDonald's he went to? Just curious.
Let me think here, hold on. I'm trying to think of which way his car drove in. He went to the one on this side of Nolan. The one by the bread store on Nolan Road. that one right there. Across from the Quick Clean Car Wash or whatever that's called.
Okay, Nolan and Gudgel.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting the name of that street.
And so he left right around 12:30, got back shortly thereafter. Okay.
We ate at his desk, both of us, and we talked to my son on the phone while we were both there.
On his cell phone?
Yeah, I called him from my cell phone.
Okay.
To my son's cell phone, yeah.
Okay.
On my cell phone.
When were you guys leaving to go to Florida? What was that? When was that? What was your plans?
We were leaving next Thursday
Okay.
to go to Kentucky to visit my son's girlfriend's parents, which we're very close to.
Oh,
And then we were going to get up the next morning and drive on into Florida to see Michael. We were going to spend 5 days with him.
it's a long drive.
Yeah. 7 hours from here to Kentucky, 8.5 from Kentucky to Florida.
So, but you know, nobody else came into the store, or your business, I should say.
No one came into the office. I left at 1:30.
Okay.
And
And you said you left at 1:30 then, as if you guys had lunch.
yeah, I went to US Bank.
Right, and that's there on Long Road, right by the,
Yes, it's just right down the street from our office.
let me find it here, I wrote it down, I can't remember right. Okay, yeah, US Bank on Nolan.
I went to the chiropractor.
Yeah, and what was his name?
Michael Pardun.
Yeah.
His wife even called me.
Pardun.
Yeah, Pardun.
That's right. He's in Blue Springs.
Yes.
What time was your appointment there?
Well, I was supposed to be up there at 1:45 to fill out paperwork, and my appointment was actually at 2.
Okay,
But the bank was kind of slow, so I didn't actually get there till about 10 till.
that's fine.
But I called him and told him I was
That was
on
your
the-
first time there, right?
Yes. Oh, first time where?
At the chiropractor?
Oh, no. We've gone to that chiropractor
Okay.
several times. About a year and a half almost.
So you left at 1:30, you went to US Bank. Did you make a deposit or a withdrawal, or would you?
I just made a deposit.
Yeah,
Just our monthly deposit.
okay. And then you went down to Blue Springs, to Mr. Pardew's office for...
Pardon.
Yeah, Pardon, for his chiropractic appointment.
Yes.
What time?
My appointment was at 2. I got there about 10 till.
Okay.
And I left there about 2:15. So I had about an hour to spare. So I went shopping to Dress Barn.
That's
Okay.
right.
I went to Dress Barn because it's just right down from Tri-City. So I wanted to be close so I wouldn't run short of time. So I left Dress Barn about 2:41.
Yeah.
I just ran on up to Tri-City and just sat in their parking lot and waited for my daughter to get out of school.
What time does she get out?
She gets out 3:15.
3:50.
And that's when I tried to call Randy 6 times. And he didn't answer the phone. But he called me back at 3:08.
Right.
I talked to him at 3:08.
So you called him 6 times, got no response.
No, and that's not unusual
Okay.
because when he's very busy and on the phone,
Touching your phones.
he doesn't like to interrupt if he's talking business.
So
So
did you call him when he was at the Dress Barn?
no, I did not call him when I was at Dress Barn. I didn't talk to anybody when I was at
Okay.
Dress Barn. I just called him. I called him when I was on my way up to the school.
Dress Barn.
Let me ask you
Sorry.
one more question.
Yes, sir.
Did you purchase anything at Dress Barn?
No, I did not.
No purchases.
No.
When did you say you left the Dress Barn? I'm sorry.
I left at 2:41. That's when I got into my car
Okay.
at
Right.
2:41.
Okay. I didn't have that one down, that's what I was wondering.
I'm trying to be as
No, you're fine.
No, you're fine, and we appreciate it. So you said that Randy called you back then
he
about
called me at
3:08.
3. I called the last
roughly?
time I called him was 3:08, and he called me right back
Okay.
Said he was busy.
and said he was just really busy on the phone. He was talking to one of our clients about fixing our fence because we have a little dog that likes to jump over the fence. I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah, I didn't get
The
his name.
last name is Watkins.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's all right. No big deal.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Let's go on from there. How long was your conversation there when you spoke to him about 308?
oh, let me think. Dear, let me see. Oh, I was probably 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then your daughter came out? Is that where you was at school waiting on your daughter to come out, right?
Yeah, I sat there for a few minutes before she came out
Right.
when I wasn't talking to him, but I was talking to some of the students. They know me, so they'll come out and talk to me and stuff, you know. And so I sat there and talked to them for a few minutes till my daughter came out, and then I tried to. I don't remember if No, I didn't call him. I just texted him to remind
Right.
him that we were running by JCPenney.
Okay.
And this was after you picked up your daughter?
Yes, this was after school. This is about 3:30 because she
Okay.
was late coming out because of her boyfriend. So,
You gotta love teenagers.
yes, indeed. So, after we left Tri-City, I ran by Sonic and got my daughter something to eat. And then we went to JCPenney's and I texted him.
And the Sonic, is that the one down there by
On
Hereford
Jackson
House
Drive.
on Jackson Drive?
Yes, sir. It is.
After J.C. Penney's, Teresa would return home to drop off her daughter, where she met her parents and then again left for the bank. It was when she was returning from the bank that she stopped receiving replies from Randy, and when she reached the office, she witnessed the most terrible sight one could imagine.
So you went to the bank on the square, and you already texted Randy.
I texted Randy
Nothing come
when I
back?
was, no, nothing came back.
Okay, and then where'd you go from the bank?
I went straight to the office.
Okay. You get to the office. Only car out there is just Randy's,
Yes.
and you park up next to his car.
Always. Always. But when I pulled up in the driveway, I noticed the blinds were closed. And that is not
Normal.
normal
Okay.
at all.
You go on in, you get ready to go in, and you notice you have to unlock the door. Now you said, are both locks locked or not?
No, the deadbolt was not locked.
Okay.
Just the bottom.
And how you knew that was when you tried it?
When I tried to unlock it, it was easy. I mean, I didn't even have to do anything
Right.
to unlock it.
And you said normally it's really tough to turn.
Very tough to turn. You almost break the key to unlock
Wow.
the deadbolt.
Okay.
And let me just touch base again. What time do you think you arrived at the office? Just
I'm pretty sure I got to the office right about 10 till, maybe,
10 till 5?
yes.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit before, maybe a minute or two before, but it was right pretty close to 10 till.
Okay. And again, I apologize. I'm kind of getting in late on this. What kind of car does Randy drive?
He has a 2009 Chevy Malibu.
What color is it?
It is a dark blue
Okay.
4-door.
And it was parked there at the business?
Yes.
Only vehicle parked?
Yes.
So the last communication you had with Randy then was there about
308.
3:08?
Yes.
Okay. And you never responded back to that one text when you left your house about 4:40. You said that immediately you noticed the blinds were closed. Now, what time does your business usually close? Let me ask you
Well,
that.
we
much.
close at 5,
Okay.
but we leave the blinds open until it starts getting dark.
Okay.
And then we will close the blinds. Or he will close, because I normally don't work late.
Mm-hmm.
Once I pick my daughter up from school,
You don't come back to that.
I usually don't come back unless we really have a lot of business to do.
Okay. And you said you were going to be working late tonight. What were you working late on?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well, we had a computer guy that was coming to work on my computer because my computer crashed last week.
And you said it was a Tony.
Tony and Franca.
Yeah.
And I don't have his number.
That's fine. We can find it.
It's in Randy's cell phone.
So you wait for him to show up to fix your computer.
Yeah, we were going to just work until he showed up. Randy told me he was supposed to get there right around 6.
But you're gonna work on what? Just your policies and stuff?
Yeah, we were gonna make lists of all the stuff that we were gonna have to sell, all the stuff that we were gonna have to box up and take with us. We were just gonna start because it was getting crunch time.
Correct.
That's what we were going to work on.
Okay. Now you get to the office, and sorry, we're trying to get this out of the way. You get to the office and you said the deadbolt's not locked, but the other lock is locked.
Yes.
You go inside, go open the door, go inside. What do you see?
All the lights are off. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I yell. I say, honey, where are you? And I walk into his office and I turn the light on, and you know, the computer's up, everything looks fine. I walk into the back room back there and turn the light on, and he's not back there.
Which room is that? The storage?
The storage room, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then I walk around the corner.
To your office? What do you see? Is the light off? Was the door shut? Okay.
You said the door was shut?
No.
No, the door was not shut.
Did you turn the light on? Okay.
So you could see him lying on the floor then, and the light was off.
Teresa was completely fine until now, when she had to describe what she saw. But what's eerie is just how quickly she ceases her crying, and her tone returns back to normal.
What did you do? This is kind of important. What did you do once you saw him there?
I kept yelling for him to wake up.
Did you shake him?
I didn't touch you.
Okay.
What did you, I apologize, I don't mean to, we just want to be a little detailed at this because it's important. Did you see any, I mean, he was obviously on the ground.
I saw blood coming out of his ear.
Okay, blood coming out of his ear.
And his eye was really puffy. And his skin was really discolored. But I noticed he wasn't breathing. But I didn't want to touch him. I was
That's fine.
scared.
So what did you do to help out? What did you do from there?
I stepped over him. And
Now one of those heaters was right there by him too. Is it already standing up or did you knock it over getting to the front?
no, it was already laying down when I
Okay.
got there.
All right.
When I walked in the room, it was laying down.
Okay.
At first I thought he had his hand on it, but then when I saw the blood coming out of his ear, I
That's fine. So you stepped over him and what did you do?
I stepped over him and I grabbed my earpiece
For your
and
phone.
put it on my ear. And I know you're supposed to dial 111, but I called my parents first and just told them to come to the office, and then I hung up and dialed 911.
Where'd you call them? At your house or their house?
No, I called them from my phone.
No, but did you call them?
Oh, I called them at. Oh.
You see what I'm saying? They were at your house when you left.
I know. I don't know if I called her cell phone or if I called the home phone.
That's fine.
I don't remember.
So
But you called from, you put your earpiece on, and you
I called
called
from
from
my
the
phone
office,
in my
from
office,
your
yes.
office phone.
I think I called the house, but I don't remember.
That's fine.
Who did you get a hold of when you called the
My
house?
mom.
Okay. And what'd you tell your mom?
I just told her. I said, Mom, Randy, something's wrong with Randy. I said, he's bleeding and he's not responding, he's not breathing. I need you guys to come to the office now. And I was saying it so fast I had to repeat it several times.
Okay.
And then I hung up and dialed 911.
From the office phone.
Yes.
And did you stay in the office where he's at doing this or did you go outside?
No, when I got on the phone with the operator, she told me to get out of the office.
Okay. The dispatchers?
Yes. So I
Step
grabbed
back.
my purse.
Did you step back
and-
over him?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I stepped over him and walked out.
Where was your purse at? On your desk?
Yeah, my purse, my drink, my cell phone, I just kind of sat there right on the top of my desk.
Okay.
And well, when I first walked out, I didn't grab anything.
Mhm.
And then she asked me to grab my cell phone or something. So I walked back into the room and grabbed my purse and my cell phone.
Okay.
But I left my water.
The dispatcher told you to get yourself out of purse.
Yeah.
In most cases, when an individual sees their loved ones unconscious, they immediately attempt to provide any sort of first aid or at least check for signs of life and instantly call 911. This is not the case with Teresa. Even the officers find it highly suspicious that she called her parents first, and even in the supposed state of panic, she didn't forget to pick up her belongings. In fact, she walked over his body. While investigating Randy's office, analysts found no signs of struggle or indication of a break-in. They also found money on Randy's table, and if this was a robbery gone wrong, the suspect would have at least stolen this money. This could mean only one thing. Randy's death wasn't a robbery. It was a homicide, and one so brutal and planned that it could only have been done by someone Randy trusted enough to let into his office.
So you go back outside, and now you're waiting for the police and your family to arrive. Okay. Is it the only light you turned on was his office
Yeah.
and the storage room?
I believe so, yes. I did not, because my light, where my office is at, you have to turn it on at the door.
Yeah.
Both of those lights.
Okay.
One light goes to my office, the other light goes to the main,
Okay.
to the reception area there.
Yeah. Police or family gets there first, right?
No.
Police get there first?
Aaron,
Okay, pilot.
yes,
And you know him from church.
yes.
So he gets there first, and you start to tell him something's wrong. He says you kind of break down.
That's when my earpiece fell off my ear. He knocked it off when he put his arm around me.
Okay.
And let me ask you this, because was Aaron, was he working?
Yes.
So he was actually
A district officer.
District officer. Did he get
Yes,
dispatched for
he
that
was the
then?
first one that
Okay.
arrived on the scene.
Okay.
Okay. And from there, family and other police arrive.
Yeah.
Now you said your car was parked up by your husband's car. Who
Uh-huh.
told you to move it?
The police officers did.
Said back it up, put it over here?
Yeah, so my dad moved it.
Okay. All right.
My dad moved my car.
And from there, we showed up. Okay. We're going to kind of back up a little bit here. Questions I have. One is, why did you decide to step over your husband to get to the phone when you had a cell phone?
I don't know.
Just-
I don't think I was thinking
That's
right.
fine. That's fine. I mean, it's just something we've asked.
No, that's fine. I have no idea why I did. I really don't know.
We talked before about this, but you said we asked you about weapons.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What guns do you know that he had at your office or anywhere?
The only one that I know of that he has
Yeah.
was a little bitty thing.
Black gun?
Yes.
That's what you said earlier.
Little bitty thing. It's little.
And where do you keep that?
And I don't even like touching it.
Where do you keep that?
He kept it in his office.
Okay.
Do you know where at in this office that he particularly kept it?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
And like I said, if you don't know, that's fine.
I am pretty positive he kept it in the drawer at the back of his credenza.
Okay.
There's a small drawer back there, and that's usually where he kept his keys and his gun. Yes, because it was easy to get to if he needed.
And he kept it just because people kind of every so often strange people walk up there.
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
They ask about Randy's guns because on the crime scene, next to Randy's body, the investigators found a shell casing of a .40 caliber bullet. Later, further investigation would show Randy was likely killed by a weapon he had previously owned. A significant lead would help solve the mystery of Randy's murder. However, Randy's office wasn't the only place that officers had searched. Suspecting Teresa, a preliminary search of her office was done as well, which led to the discovery of something odd, something that detectives decide to confront her about.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Back to the letters, the yellow tablet. In your trash can, they had a letter that somebody had written for about happy birthday and all that. It's about this big. It was all tore up. And it says something about, something like you're the most beautiful person or some kind of thing like that. It's all these big ramblings of good stuff about, it's about that long, but that big. It's a white letter and it's black writing and it's all tore up now. There's a bottom of your trash can at your office.
Oh,
It said happy birthday at the top of it, and then at the bottom it's happy. Then it had all these initials on the bottom, like there were initials meaning something. Well, think about it. I'm gonna go see if lab. They took a picture. I'll see if I can show it to her and see. Let me get a refresher. Fine.
Hang on just a second. We'll be right back.
okay.
I heard that. You okay? Need anything? We're not done here. On that letter, they didn't take a picture of it, but they collected it. So we
Okay.
can't see it because it's on property. But it's a note about that big.
Yeah, I remember. And I've had it for a very long time because I kind of had a secret admirer. It was left on my car door. I
Today?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Where was your car at? At the office?
It's not even the car that I have now.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was. That's been several years ago. And I just found it the other day. I was looking for my what do you call it? Dental card.
Yeah.
And I found it in there. And
Where was that? In your drawer? Or?
no, it was in my purse. I have a little thingy that I keep all my credit cards in.
Yeah.
And it was in there.
Who's his secret admirer?
I don't know who he is.
Wow.
I've never gotten another note from him ever.
No calls?
No calls, no nothing.
Have you guys been getting any calls at all lately with somebody hanging up or anything?
Yes, let me think. Was it today or yesterday? But the calls show up private, so
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Because my husband answered the phone a couple of times, and well, no, it's probably been more than that. And he said, well, I don't know who they are. They keep hanging up.
Never said a word to you, a guy or girl?
I never answered it. He
Okay.
did, and he never told me. So I don't know if there was any breathing. I don't know. He didn't say.
Okay.
He just said they weren't. They just hung
Has
up.
he been getting calls like that you know of?
Well, not that I know of. But like I said, I don't know. I just don't know if he would.
Sometimes we'll tell you because
Tell
it
me.
worries you. That's why
I
we're
would think he
touching
would tell
base.
me.
That's why we're touching base to anybody who could confide in it other than you.
No,
because-
I know he would tell me. I know he would.
The letter found torn apart in the trash can of Teresa's office seemed to be a birthday wish, a love letter, or maybe both. It had phrases like "Happy birthday, love. I am not in control of things yet, but when we are fully together, your birthday will always be exciting." And "You are the center of my world." By comparing handwriting samples, it was clear the note was not written by Randy. Although Teresa claims it was from a secret admirer, it is weird that she had kept it for so long and discarded it just recently. The officers begin to suspect a possible case of infidelity. However, they do not have enough evidence to confront her just yet.
Okay, I want to ask you something again, like we asked you before. You going in and finding him like you did and everything, and here's the thing, and please don't take this wrong. I told you before we had to ask questions and things to get details.
I understand.
We understand how people think and what goes on sometimes with people. When you went into the office and you located him laying there on the floor, and you checked him and yelled at him and everything, we found a cartridge by his feet.
You found a what?
A cartridge.
A shell casing.
Shell casing. Did you, that's what we're asking you, if there was a gun laying by him or anything and you moved it?
I didn't see anything. I
Okay.
swear. I did not see anything. That's why I didn't know where the blood was coming from. I saw blood under his head and coming from his ear, and I saw his eye was swollen and his skin was discolored. So I didn't see anything. I could not figure it out. That's why I thought maybe he hit his head or something.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, that's what we're saying here, because talking to Joe and talking to some other people, when I brought you up here, somebody else got a hold of me too. They said your husband does have the .40 caliber handgun.
He does?
Yes, and that's what we're saying. And you being his wife, you should have seen or known about it.
The only one that I have ever seen is that little bitty one. Now, like I said, I don't go down in the safe downstairs.
Right.
So
Well,
all I know what he has downstairs in the safe is his shotguns.
he carried this one in his briefcase.
He did?
Yeah. So
That's the information we're getting.
that's what we're getting told, and that's from somebody that knows him real well. So what we're saying to you is,
Well, okay.
if you would have seen it,
Okay, well, here's the
maybe
thing.
he shot himself.
Well, no.
We're saying if you maybe shot himself for some odd reason or another.
Would you have grabbed
Would you
the
grab
gun
a gun
and
just
moved
to
it
say
someplace
it don't look
to-
right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't touch guns. He knows I don't like them, and I don't touch them at all.
That's fine.
But I asked him this morning to bring an Avon book for me, and I assumed he put it in his briefcase. So I opened his briefcase, and it wasn't in there, but I didn't see a gun in there.
Okay.
I didn't see anything in there
Okay.
because I opened it up, and I did not see a gun in there. I did not know he had another gun. Not like that anyway.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we're saying. And don't get me wrong. Please don't get us wrong.
No.
But the thing is sometimes people
React
will
differently.
react differently. Yeah, and they will do something that you least expect them to do. We've dealt with this a lot, and that goes with suicides and everything because we've had them before where they didn't even leave
And you would tell us if there was a gun there, if you would have picked it up and moved it someplace.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a very honest person.
And we do that, we have to do that for a safety factor too.
Oh no.
If you don't know guns very well, you don't want to put it in your car or something, you have to go off when you're driving.
Are you kidding me? When he asked me to go into the house to get that gun for him off of his nightstand, that's all I can do is carry that thing out there.
When did he do that?
Oh, if he ever leaves it.
Okay.
He carries it with him everywhere we go.
Okay.
And that's the little one you're
The
talking
little
about?
bitty one, yes. He carries it with him everywhere we go.
Okay.
And like I said, at this point we're still investigating things. Okay. So we can't rule anything out. Was he ever depressed about anything? Is he on any medication that would, so no suicidal thoughts or anything like that?
Not that I know of. I was in the hospital last week. My gallbladder decided to act up on me. But he was there pretty much all the time. I mean, he did go to the office and work for a little while I was, and I mean, he just had to. You can't just close the office, and we couldn't get a hold of Peggy, so he had to go for 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
So, I mean, he didn't see, yes, he's stressed. We both get stressed because of the job and stuff, but we don't ever take it out on each other.
No.
We're just not that type of
But would he
people.
be the type, since he's not to worry you, would he be the type if he was depressed or had any thoughts, he'd keep it to himself? I mean, people do it.
I'm just asking.
I would not think so. He just didn't seem to be that way.
And we're just asking because, like I said, I don't know anything about the scene. I don't know if if he would have taken his own life or if this is an intruder or something like that. But we at least got to ask those things from you. So you're telling me that you're not aware of him being depressed over anything.
No.
I mean, not severely depressed where he might need to go see a doctor or psychiatrist.
No.
Wasn't on any type of medication.
No, never.
Okay. And never talked to you about harming himself or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
And you said he didn't drink,
No.
and he's a Marine, so he didn't do any drugs.
No. He doesn't have no tattoos.
Okay.
No, never.
Randy's stable mental health and the missing murder weapon eliminate any chances of it being a case. But the officers have a hunch stronger than ever that Teresa is somehow involved in the murder case. So they ask her about the letter once again.
And the secret admirer, you said that he left a letter on your car a year or so ago?
It's probably been 3 or 4 years ago.
And you've had this note in your purse.
I totally forgot about it, to be honest with you.
And when did you tear it up and throw it in the trash can?
Yeah, I just found it yesterday.
Okay.
When I was looking for because I scheduled my daughter for her wisdom teeth to be pulled out. So as I was going through, I found it and I just ripped it up and threw it away. I didn't really want my husband to find it. So.
Did he know about what did the note say?
You know what? I have no idea. When you said it said happy birthday on it, I was like, huh?
It had birthday on the front, and the bottom said happy birthday, and it had a bunch of different initials, like text message initials.
I honestly cannot remember. To tell you the truth, I do not remember what it said.
Well, it looks like a lot of people wrote on your Facebook.
Yeah, my church members. They're all my church members.
Yeah.
On the secret admirer, do you know who this person is?
I don't. I'm sorry. I have no idea. I haven't gotten...
I'm going what Detective Stewart had said. He had said something about happy birthday on it.
Yeah.
I mean, so did this person know
Evidently they
you and know when your birthday was?
Evidently they know me. I don't know who they are. I couldn't tell you left from right who the heck he is. I assume he is a guy.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean for that to be funny. But I don't, seriously, I have no idea who he is. And it's been several years. Like I said, I just found it. I wasn't looking for it. I just ran across it and couldn't believe I still had it.
Okay.
So I thought, I better get rid of it because I surely didn't want my husband to find it. And if he did, I mean, I would just explain to him that it was just left on my car window, just like I'm telling you guys, I'm being honest with you, and I have no idea who he is. I don't know. It's been several years ago, so I honestly don't know. I have never gotten any more letters, nothing. I've never gotten phone calls, no mysterious phone calls, no nothing.
Okay.
So,
And
I don't know.
No affairs on the side or anything like that?
No.
He hasn't had an affair with someone? And just be honest with
Several
me.
years ago, he did.
Okay.
But that was right after we got married.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Okay. But nothing recently?
No.
You guys haven't been separated or anything?
No,
Or
no.
issues with
I
them?
mean, and I hate to say this, but I feel like you need
And be
to
honest
know.
with me.
You need
Because,
to know.
you know, I mean, anything
I know.
can help us.
He had trouble with pornography, so.
He had trouble with pornography?
Yeah. But, we got through all that.
Okay, when you say he had trouble with pornography, was he watching it on TV or
No,
doing it on a computer?
He would pull it up on the computer.
Okay.
But it's been several months, probably a year or so.
Okay, so, but within the past year, when we say he's having trouble with pornography, what do you mean by that?
Well, he would just go on websites and just
Okay.
look at them.
Okay.
And I approached him about it. So
Okay.
we got that out of the way.
And when you say you got it out of the way, what do you mean by that?
Well, that's why his computer's the way it is now. He switched his computer so I could see everything. Because it used to be like this, so I couldn't see anything.
Mhm.
So he turned it like this, so whenever I did walk into his office or
You
walk
could
past his office, I could see everything he was working on. Because he wanted to be honest with
He
me.
didn't go to any counseling for
No,
pornography?
it wasn't that deep.
And it didn't cause any friction that
No.
you guys were wanting to get separated
No,
or
no.
you never had to leave the residence or anything? No one left the residence or anything?
No, never.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Ever.
Okay.
Never, 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 never. It never got that bad.
The officers need to investigate the case further before they can question Teresa anymore. After taking pictures of the text messages she sent that day, they ended the interview. At this point, detectives are confident that Teresa is somehow heavily involved in Randy's murder. But how, exactly, is something they would only discover once they began probing deeper into her personal life. Specifically, the letter they had found because it hinted at Teresa having a possible affair. And soon enough, they had someone who they thought could be Teresa's secret lover, David Love, the pastor of New Hope Baptist. David, the son of a Baptist, became the new pastor in 1999 and quickly became a well-known name in town. During this time, Teresa began receiving multiple counseling sessions from David every week. A year after he was appointed pastor, David finally made his move on Teresa. He reminisced about this memory in the torn-up letter that was found. 8 years later, in 2008, Randy started to suspect an affair between David and Teresa and attempted to leave the church. However, the church members would discourage him from accusing the two without proof and convinced him to stay. Unfortunately, the truth would be hidden for a long time, and instead of doubting David, Randy became his best friend. This was because around the same time, Randy began having issues with pornography, and Teresa had convinced him to get counseling from David. This was how David and Randy grew close, to the point Randy began to consider David one of his best friends. This allowed Teresa to fix her relationship with Randy on the surface, while also shifting her focus to her real motive. Several of Randy's friends and co-workers told the officers that Teresa had been asking about Randy's insurance policies and what they amounted to, but unbeknownst to her, in 2004, Randy removed Teresa and made their kids the beneficiary of his insurance. With all of this information, the officers believed they had found enough circumstantial evidence and motive of murder to finally confront Teresa head-on, so they brought her back to try and get an admission out of her.
I'm telling you, Brother Love pulled the trigger. I'm telling you, this is the motive. This is the reason that your husband is dead. It's up to you to tell us exactly what happened, exactly what was going on, all right? Now, I've got about 20 detectives out here, and I'm going to be honest with you. I got about 20 detectives out here that want to take this to a grand jury today, tomorrow. They think there's enough evidence against you to have you charged because they think you're involved in this, and either in a not that you can, but that you have something to do with this. And do you know why? Because of this? Because Your statement that you gave the other night to Detective Stewart is full of inconsistencies and untruths.
What?
I'm telling you, they have torn that statement apart. We have a page and a half of things that's not jiving, all right?
Like what? I have told you everything that happened on that day.
Well, I'm telling you that
I have
They have
receipts to show you. My daughter was with me.
we're
Are
not
you
saying
kidding me?
that's what I'm telling you.
Oh my
That
God.
there's trouble here, Teresa. There's trouble here. All right? You have got to tell us what happened that day. And if you don't tell us, then I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 24 years, and I'm telling you, I can see the direction that this is going. And if you're not truthful with me and tell me everything that's going on and what you know, you're gonna be a soul out on a plank, all right, all by yourself. My investigators believe that you are involved in this, either in the cover-up. They
There
don't.
is no way.
I'm telling you.
I would never do anything to hurt my husband. I love him so much. That's why I was trying to get rid of this. That's why I was trying to get Brother Love out of my office. We were trying to start over. I didn't want him in my life anymore. I wanted to just be with my husband for the rest of my life. Please, tell me.
I'm telling you something. Somewhere
Tell
down,
me
somewhere
what is not
down-
driving. I want to know what's not. I need to know.
For example, you say you went to the bank and made a deposit, right?
Yes.
We've been to the bank 3 times. They say that there is no activity on your account that afternoon.
There is
Alright.
2. I have the receipt to prove it.
Well, I'm just telling you what the bank's telling us, okay? If you got a receipt, we'll look at it, all right? But I'm telling you, the bank's telling us 3 times now. We've checked 3 times.
You checked with U.S. Bank
U.S. Bank.
on my line of credit.
Yes.
The line of credit is not in my name. It is in Randy's name.
They checked both your names, okay? We didn't go up there half-ass and just say, okay. They pulled up they were very helpful. They pulled up everything. We did it 3 times with them. And they're saying, we're sorry, but there's no activity, all right? That's their mistake. We'll figure it out. If you
I
got a
will pull it
receipt.
off of the computer
Okay.
myself and show it to you.
Okay.
I have the receipt that I went to the bank on the square
Mhm.
to make a deposit.
Okay.
I cannot
I was telling you,
believe.
the bank's saying there is none, all right? So if you got a receipt, you better make sure you hold on to it.
I will go home and find it.
Okay.
I cannot believe this. I seriously cannot believe this.
That's true, Teresa.
No. I have the receipt from my chiropractor's office. I have the receipt from JCPenney's. I have everything. I was with my daughter. I picked her up from school. I went home. My parents were there. Are you kidding me?
When the detectives came over to your house to look for that gun and see if there might be a gun box or something, I've read the report and I've talked to them, and they said that you did about everything that you could think of to try to keep them from finding that box.
I did not. They did not talk to me.
They said if it wasn't for Michael, they would never got that box.
They didn't talk to me about anything.
Well, they said Michael came up there. Michael thought that the gun box might be under y'all's bed. He started to look under, and you
Michael
shut him
knows
out
more
the
about
door.
that gun stuff than I do. I don't know what Randy does with it. I swear to you, you give me a stack of Bibles and I will swear to you. I don't know anything about Randy's guns. Michael and Randy did all that stuff. They never shared any of that stuff with me because I didn't like them. Miranda and I did not like them. We always ran away when it came to that stuff.
Do you know he always used to show that gun off? We have people that come here and say he used to show that gun off all the time in the office. He was proud of that gun.
Yeah, I know he was.
Okay.
I know he was, and he showed it to the people, the detectives, or the our clients who worked here. He always showed it to them. I was never in there when he showed that gun to them, ever, because he knows I don't like guns. I didn't even like him carrying it in his briefcase. I didn't like it at all.
Mike said they would clean that gun in the house. But Mike, even your son told me that you knew about the gun.
Yes, I knew about the gun.
Okay. But you told us you didn't know about the gun.
Who didn't know about the gun?
You told us that you didn't know about the gun.
Yes, I knew he had that gun, but I knew he got rid of it.
He didn't get rid of it. That's the gun that
Then who has it then? That's what I want to know.
it's in the same place where these cell phones are.
Then who has it?
That's what I'm asking you.
I don't
Who do you
know.
think has it?
I have no
Who do you
idea.
think got rid of these phones?
Who has the phones or who had the phones? I gave my phone back to this man right here. And what he did with it after that, I have no idea. Better not have did this. No. 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 No, he couldn't do this.
If he had these phones, he's involved. These phones don't fall off the face of the earth. This phone, 217, was purchased 2 weeks before your husband died. That phone was purchased for one reason. Because they knew Randy was going to die. And they needed a way to communicate with somebody that he thought wasn't going to be traced back.
You know why? He purchased this phone because his wife found the other phone that he had. And he told me that. That's why he purchased that phone.
He purchased that because his wife found this one?
Yes,
When did he tell you that?
the day he bought that phone.
How'd that come up in conversation?
How'd what come up in conversation?
That he bought a new track phone. I mean, how did that come up?
Because his wife had the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want me to call it.
Okay.
That's why he bought another phone.
But this one was operating right up to the 31st. Matter of fact, of the two phones, this was the last one that actually made a phone call. And that was about an hour or two after Randy was found deceased. And then they both went blank. And we know this phone was traveling around the city making phone calls after Randy. Did I tell you we have a video? Did I tell you that? Did I tell you we know exactly what time your husband died? Because we have not one but two videos. We have seen the car, and we have seen the man get out of the car.
Who is it?
I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Why not?
I am telling you because I'm trying to get some truthfulness out of you. Because I'm telling you that if you don't sit here and tell me the truth about everything you know, I'm telling you, you're going to end up in a whole lot of trouble. More trouble than you could ever imagine.
I am telling you the truth about the phones. All I know is his wife found this phone, so he had to go buy this phone. Now, I don't know if he got this phone back and she didn't know that he got it back. I don't know. I did not talk to him on that day. I had not talked to him since that day he left our office because I was too mad. Randy and I were both too upset. So we didn't talk to them or anything. We didn't talk to Brother Love. Nobody. We were trying to start our lives over again and just move on. Because we had already gone to a new church.
The phones mentioned here are disposable phones. Detectives believe Teresa and David used these phones to communicate and plan the murder. This theory was solidified when David's wife, Kim, testified to catching David texting Teresa using the phones on two separate occasions, in 2009 and 2010, just a few weeks before Randy's death. Later, Teresa admitted to using these phones.
Tell me what was the nature of your relationship with David, truly. If you can't even do that much, I can't help you, Teresa. If you can't even be honest about that, I cannot help you.
Well, obviously he was in love.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I was at one point.
How long ago?
Just recently. probably a couple weeks ago. No, well, probably about a month ago.
About a month ago you felt like you were in love?
No. A month ago, I wanted it to end. I wanted to start my life fresh with Randy.
Okay. Let's back up.
Okay.
I need to know.
9 years ago.
Well, I need to know what kind of things have been going on between you and him before you decided that you wanted to put an end to this thing. Because I know it wasn't just phone calls. Couldn't have been. If we're gonna get these people off my butt, these people that want to get you indicted, you're gonna have to share. You're gonna have to show that you can be completely honest when the hard questions are.
And if you talk to him,
What if I talk to him? When I talk to him, it's gonna go down just about the way it's gone down with you. There's not gonna be much difference. I'm gonna ask him straight up questions, and if I think he's lying to me, I'm gonna call him on it. And that's the way it's gonna be. I don't treat anybody differently. I'm calling it on you, I'm calling you. I don't think that you're not being truthful with me about the nature of your relationship. And it's important.
do you understand that I'm scared?
I understand you're scared. And if you tell me why you're scared, what exactly scares you, I will try to help you. We'll get through this. Because when you say you're scared, I need to know exactly what is it that scares you. Because if that's what's keeping us from getting to the truth tonight, we need to take care of that. And we will. What scares you? You can talk to me and you're going to feel better after, I'm telling you, you're going to feel better after you talk to me.
I just don't want this to get out to anybody.
I'm telling you, we're not going to wave red flags and tell the world, okay? Teresa, I already know what you're going to say, but I have to hear it from you. I have to hear it from you.
Yes, we had sex.
Okay.
You know that.
I know that. I know that. And you know what? I'm not going to judge you for that. Okay? Do you think that you're the only one that's gotten in that kind of position before?
I just never thought it would ever happen to me.
Well, and you know what I think? I think probably it was David's doing. He's the pastor of your church.
I know.
He is the leader. He is supposed to be taking care of his people.
I know.
And he didn't take care of you. He violated everything that he stood for in that church when he started pursuing you.
I know.
You know? And I'm sure that I've talked to him and I've talked to a bunch of other people, and they say that man can really be convincing. I mean, he is slick.
I know, my husband has said the same thing.
Well, he used his skills to be able, once again, to turn you away from your values and what means the most to you. And he did that. Okay?
Teresa and David's love affair had started in 2000, a year after David had joined the church. The officers also found several explicit emails and photos that were shared between the two in David's email.
How long has this been going on?
10 years.
Okay. So this affair's been going on for off and on or pretty steady?
No, it's been off and on.
Off and on?
Every time I try to stop it, he always makes me feel, I don't know.
What are your feelings? What are your feelings for him? Obviously, you had some feelings for him, or this wouldn't go on.
I
like
did.
that, right?
I did.
Okay. So you were in love with him. This must have been hard on him. The fact that you were leaving the church. That you had told him that you don't want it. You gave him his phone back, right? You gave him his phone back. You were trying to knock it off, trying to stop it. When he came into that office, is that what that was about? Did he come in there and tell Randy that you guys had been together?
No,
Did that ever come up?
no.
Okay. So that didn't come up. He was just telling you about this Bruner guy.
He was telling Randy about it because he was tired of other guys trying to come on to me.
Okay.
Because,
David was tired
Yeah.
of other guys coming on to you?
Mhm.
All right.
because I would tell him, and I probably shouldn't have. I just wanted to start afresh. I wanted it to end. I tried to end it a couple of times before. Actually, last year, I tried to stop it.
Okay.
And I wouldn't.
How did he take it?
Not very well.
Tell me about it.
Well, he's not really an angry person. He doesn't get angry,
Mm-hmm.
but he just wasn't happy.
What did he say?
He said, I understand, because I just told him. I told him, I said, this is not right. This is not what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what God wants for us. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And I don't even remember what he said.
And where was that? Was that at the church?
Yeah, I was in the kitchen.
And how long ago was it?
It was August of last year, actually.
August of last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he keeps kind of throwing it up in my face.
Okay. So that's about the time about this track phone. So how did he end up giving it back to you and y'all continue to communicate?
Because he just kind of slid in there again and kind of made me feel bad, I guess.
Okay. So this, as you're describing it to me, this is pretty involved with David.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
More than I wanted it to be.
David wrote in his letter here, let's see, there's a line in here. I'm not in control of things yet, but when we are fully together, our birthdays will be exciting, blah, blah. What's that mean? I'm not in control yet, but when we are fully together,
I don't know.
what do you think it means when you read that? I'm
Maybe
not
he
in
had
control
something in his-
yet.
Maybe he had something in mind.
Did he ever talk to you about anything he had in mind?
No. I always told him, if God wants us to be together,
Mm-hmm.
then he will put us together. I always told him that. And I always told him, I said, I love Randy. And I hate doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
Did Randy ever suspect?
Maybe after maybe maybe after the second year, maybe.
Okay.
But he really never came out and said it or anything.
Since we're being truthful,
Mhm.
all right, and there's no secrets about this, okay, it's already out.
Mhm.
Was there ever a time when you became pregnant with David's child? Because I think you did.
Hmm. Yeah.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about 6 years ago, actually.
What happened to the baby?
I miscarried.
Okay. Did anybody know about that except you and David?
About me being pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, Randy knew about it.
Okay.
He knew about it.
Okay. You gotta clear this up, because as far as I know, I don't know if it's true or not, okay.
Mhm.
Had Randy had a vasectomy at some point?
Mhm.
Was this before you got pregnant?
Mhm.
Okay. How did that go over? Or how was that explained?
Because we went to the doctors, and the doctors told us that it happens a lot.
Okay.
So,
So you just figured it was a malfunction, for
Yeah.
your lack of a better
and
word,
we had a couple of clients who had happened to them.
right? Okay.
So,
How did David take it? I guess he knew. What did he, or did he know?
oh yeah, he knew.
How did he take that news?
Well, he was kind of shocked. He didn't see how it happened, but I don't see how it happened either. But
Okay.
and in that situation, all I can say is that God spared me that day.
You mean the miscarriage?
Mm-hmm.
Randy did get suspicious on 3 different occasions, once in the year 2002 when he found a letter written by Teresa that described several sexual fantasies addressed to someone called David. When confronted, Teresa claimed she did it to improve the couple's sex life. The second time was in 2008, as mentioned before, when the church stopped him from leaving because of these suspicions. Lastly, in 2004, Teresa got pregnant, despite Randy's vasectomy. But Randy had not followed up on his checkups, so he never doubted the baby wasn't his. The truth was that the baby belonged to David, and Randy was just being fooled.
So, what are you doing with the phone that day? That was the day that your husband died, right?
I have it. I mean, I had it.
Okay. Where's the phone now?
I don't have it anymore.
What did you do with it?
I threw it away.
Where?
I don't know. I don't know. Let me think. Hold on. I tore it apart
Okay.
because I didn't want any more communication with him.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to call me several times. He tried to call me on my cell phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't answer it. I knew it was him. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him at all.
What are you doing with the cell phone that day?
I didn't want to communicate with him. What am I doing with
I
it?
mean, why did you even have it?
Well, I just had it. I mean, he gave it to me.
Okay.
I mean, that's how he communicated with me. But I don't even know if I don't even know if I even used it after that day he came in my office to talk to Randy and I. I was so mad at him. I think when he texted me, I would read them and never respond. I didn't want to respond to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was mad.
But this phone made a phone call later in the afternoon. I mean, like, late.
It did?
Excuse me.
I'd like to know when.
This is the wrong, we've got a bunch of more phone records. This is the wrong one. It's not what I need. As I recall, the last time that anybody used this phone, like I said, it was after we know that Randy, was killed. It was after. It was, as I recall, it was like, I want to say it was 4 or 5 or something like that. That's when the last time this thing was used.
I got rid of that phone. Mrs. Love took me to go to the bathroom, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I got rid of it.
You were at the church?
No.
You said Mrs. Love?
Yeah,
Took you to
she
the
was at the
bathroom?
crime scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now okay. So you had it after you found your husband?
Yeah, it was in my purse. I
Okay.
carried it in my purse.
All right, I understand.
I'm
So
trying.
she took you to the bathroom?
I'm trying to be honest with you.
I know you are. And that's when you got rid of the phone?
Yes, I tore it up.
Who was the last person that you ever called or talked to on this phone that you recall?
The last time
Very last time you ever used that phone? And
when I checked the voicemail.
while you were at the office?
No, I checked the voicemail when I was on the road.
Going where?
When I was going to the bank
Okay,
before I went to pick up my daughter.
okay.
That's the last time I
So
checked the
You
voicemail.
checked the voicemail when you went to US Bank?
Yes,
All right.
I
And
checked
there
it.
was a voicemail from David?
Yes,
All right.
that's the last time I checked it. That's the last time I used it. When she took me to the bathroom,
Mhm.
I took off the back, broke the back. I broke the phone in half.
What bathroom are you talking about?
I went to the bathroom at, oh gosh. Enterprise.
Enterprise?
God, I can't even think about it.
She took you to an Enterprise? Was this while the detectives were doing their stuff?
Yes, I just told him
and you
had
to go to the bathroom?
yeah, I did have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And, I didn't want any more communication or anything,
Now, this
so-
was after you found your husband.
Yes.
You know what that looks like, right, Teresa?
Yes, I know.
I mean, you carried that phone all day, and then after you found your husband, you left the crime scene to go to the bathroom, and while you were there, you destroyed a phone. You know what that looks like.
I know.
How are we gonna explain that? What did David tell you on that voicemail? You have to tell me.
I'm trying to remember because I don't even know if I listened to it.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying this is very important because it's gonna help you. Because if we leave this open, while what you just told me, it makes you look like
He just,
this woman destroyed the phone because she knew that her husband was gonna,
No.
she's working with somebody and
No.
destroyed the phone.
That
And
is-
I'm not, but I'm telling you, that's how people are gonna perceive it, and perception is damn near reality in a courtroom, okay? Or anywhere else. You know, I mean, you could have destroyed that phone when you left to go to the bank. You could have destroyed that phone anywhere along the way. But the time that you destroyed it was the time when you'd found your husband murdered. Okay? That doesn't look very good. It doesn't look good at all. But if you can try to remember what was on that voicemail, maybe that might explain something,
Well, all he did was, he left me a voicemail message and he told me he wanted me to call him.
Okay? Do you know where he was at when he called?
No, I don't. He did not tell me. Sorry.
Okay. He wanted you to call him. That was it?
He wanted me to call him on this phone.
On the 217? And did you try to call him?
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't, because I didn't want to talk to him.
Okay. Had you talked to him at all since the blow up at the
No.
office?
No. Nope.
Okay.
I had not. I didn't want to talk to him. I was mad at him.
Okay.
I was mad at how he was treating my husband and how he was treating me, and just walked in and just did what he did, and I was mad.
At first, Teresa denied contact with David, but now she admits he left her a voicemail. Despite the officer's attempts to rile her up and coerce her, she refuses to reveal what the voicemail contained.
Getting away from the phones for a second. You called your parents, right, after you found it, Randy?
Yes.
And what did you tell them?
I just told him that something had happened to Randy and I needed them to come to the office right away.
Are you sure that's what you told them? See, what you told them, because I got it from your mom and I got it from Miranda, what you told them is that Randy had been shot.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
All right. That doesn't square with what you've told us up to this point, and it doesn't square with what you told the 911 operator. That's a problem. That is a problem. You told your parents specifically that Randy had been shot. You knew that he'd been shot because you told your parents that he'd been shot. You told the 911 operator you think he might have fallen. You never told him that he'd been shot. You kept that to yourself. When you talked to the ambulance dispatcher, the person who needs to know what's going on there medically, you never told him that he'd been shot. You've been talked to 3 times now and you never said that. You knew that he'd been shot, but you didn't tell anybody. Somebody told you that he was shot. Somebody told you that he was shot because you knew he'd been shot. And you didn't want us to know that. That goes right in with these phones and these phones getting destroyed after the body's found. You know more than you're telling me. That is how they're going to hang you, Teresa. Those kinds of statements. And I told you that I got reports up to here that's full of that kind of stuff. Who told you that he'd been shot? How did you know he'd been shot? And why didn't you tell us? You're not being truthful with me, Teresa.
I didn't know.
You're not being truthful.
Okay, I didn't. He sent me a text and told me.
Who did? Say it.
Brother Love.
Brother Love.
He sent me a text and told me.
The text message from David still doesn't explain how she knew about Randy being shot. In her previous interview, she claimed she didn't touch the body at all, and she called her parents first. It makes no sense why she would not mention her husband was shot to the authorities, unless of course she is hiding a secret that detectives would soon uncover.
I don't know why.
When did he send you that text?
When I was on my way to the office.
From your house? Or when? Before you got to the bank or after?
No, when I was on my way back to the office, after I dropped Miranda off at the house. He sent me a text and told me He said, seriously urgent, do not go back to the office by yourself. That's what he told me. And I ignored it.
What did you think he meant by that? When you read that, what did you think that meant?
I don't know.
You didn't call him?
No, I didn't want to talk to him.
But you get a text
I
like
was mad
that.
at him.
I understand. I understand you're mad at him. But you know, if I'm driving here to the police station to work and I get a text message from my wife who says, do not go there. Urgent. Don't go there.
What I thought
I am
was,
going to call her and say, what in the heck is this about?
I just thought maybe he was there with Randy arguing with him and he didn't want me to walk in on him. That's the first thing I thought of.
Okay.
I wasn't
So you
expecting.
thought there might be a little confrontation
Yes.
going on?
Yes. When I got there,
Teresa,
no.
why would you not tell us that? Why would you not tell us something that important? You're
Because
protecting,
I'm
you're
scared.
protecting this man. Or you're protecting yourself also. You're scared. But you're also trying to protect. And you're protecting him and you may be protecting yourself. If
What do you want me? What do you want from me?
Teresa,
I'm trying to
Teresa,
tell you everything.
Teresa, I want you to be the first person to come forward so that we have the opportunity to try to help you. I don't want to help David. I swear, listen to me, listen. If David comes in here and he confesses to something that he's done, he'll be the first one. And you know what's going to happen? He's the one that's going to be given consideration. And everybody else that's involved in this is going to go right down the toilet. And we're not going to be able to help them. I want to be able to help you. Have all these people. I know Brother Love's not the only one involved in this. He is not the only one involved. He's obviously up to it in his eyeballs. But there's somebody else involved too.
Who?
Remember when I told you that we have video?
Yes.
All right, listen to me. I know more than I can tell you. But I'm telling you, brother, it's not just Brother Love. I'm telling you. That means if you don't talk to me, if you don't tell me what you've done, we are gonna have to give these jerks more consideration than we'll give you.
Who? He's the only one that told me. He just texted me and told me not to go to the office, not by myself.
What else has been said? What else has been said beside that? When did you first know that something could be up? Something just wasn't right. What text message, what phone call, what letter, what anything, what has ever been said to you prior to the 31st that something might be up? That somebody might do something extremely stupid. Even if they just intended to go scare Randy.
The only thing that I know is I text David from that phone on my way to the chiropractor's office. I told him, I said, you have messed up my life. Leave me alone. And then he started calling me like crazy. And I didn't answer the phone. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him at all. And he called and left a message. And I checked it. He texted me and said, I'm thinking, what did he say? Oh my God, what did he say? I know he sent me a text before he sent me that other one. Oh my gosh. He sent me that text about, it was around 3 something. The first one he sent me was around 3 something. The second one he sent me was the one that said, seriously urgent, do not go to the office by yourself. That was the last one he sent me.
What time was that? Was it before or after the last text you got from Randy? You got
Oh,
that
it
at
was,
3:08? So this was closer to 5.
yes.
Okay. Thank Teresa. Think about that text. It might be one of the most important things that
Oh my gosh. Seriously, I think the only thing on that text was that he was going to the hospital to see another one of our oh gosh, members
Okay.
that was in the hospital.
Okay.
That's what he told me.
That was a text
That was a text.
on to this phone
Yes.
from that phone,
Yes.
217,
Mhm.
that he was going to go to the hospital.
Mhm.
And do you know about what time that was? I know it's been a long time. And then it was about what time when you got the other one? And the other one said
I got the other one right before I got to the office.
right before you got there.
Mhm. I was actually passing Sonic on the Nolan Road when I read it,
Okay.
and it was all in caps. My dad's probably wondering what's happening to me.
I know it. But you realize this affects the rest of your life. So
I
I
know.
understand that. Did you know what you were going to find when you got there?
No, I did not. I did not expect that at all.
Did you expect anything?
No. The only, with him texting me that, the only thing I thought of was him and Randy are into it.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy really never tried to argue with him. He just tried to ask him to leave a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he wouldn't leave.
Why didn't you tell somebody about that message before now?
I don't know. I guess I was just scared.
Scared of what?
Scared of what might happen to me.
Did you believe
I mean,
that?
I
Did you
don't-
believe that Brother Love had something to do with this, even before you came in here tonight?
Do I believe?
No, before you came in here tonight.
Oh. Back in my mind,
You had to ask him about the message. Your husband's been killed. And right before you got there, you got this all caps message, don't go there. How could you not confront him or talk to him? You had to talk to him about this. I know you've been
about
to the
what?
about what was that message about?
Oh, no.
I mean, you got that right before you found your husband.
I haven't talked to him.
You haven't talked to him at the church
No.
over Easter weekend or anything?
No, I was gone.
Okay.
And then he left. He called me last night.
You
And I
didn't
was
call
very,
him? What did he say last night?
that he was praying for me.
He's praying for you.
I was very short with him and I was not really nice to him on the phone.
Did you ask him about the text message?
No, because my family was around
Okay,
and one of our church members was at my house.
okay. In the last 20 days, you never got on the phone
No, I
to
haven't.
Brother Love and said, "Did you kill my husband? Why did you send me that text message?" You never discussed or tried to get a hold of him.
No, because every time he was at my house, there were so many people around.
I understand that. But there were times when you could get to a phone and talk in private.
I didn't want to talk to him.
You didn't want to
Because-
find out who killed your husband?
I was afraid of what he would say. I don't know if he
Well, I
would.
would like to hear what he... If somebody killed my
Do you-
wife and I suspect it, and they tell me, you know what I'm gonna do?
You think he's going to
That's
tell me?
great. That's great, because now I'm going to the police.
You think he's going to tell me?
Well, he has to explain the message. He has to explain. He has to explain, why did you sent me that message not to go to my office? Why? You had to know that my husband was going to be there with his head blown off. You had to know that, or you wouldn't have sent me a message like that.
I didn't think about it that way. I thought maybe they were just arguing. I never thought to find anything like that.
Who would Brother Love conspire with to do something like this?
I have no idea. That is the honest truth. I have no idea. I've always thought of him as an honest man. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, you know he's not an honest man because he's had an affair with one of his congregation members for almost 10 years. And he comes into your office and stirs up all kinds of crap between you and your husband,
I know.
okay? And we haven't even discussed some of the stuff that's probably happened within the last 10 years. I'm sure you could write a book of all the ups and downs you've had with him over the last 10 years and all the trash that we don't even want to get into because we don't need to. But you know he's not a good man or an honest man. And then you get this text message from him 5 minutes before you find your husband murdered, and you don't come to the police and tell us. Teresa.
I'm sorry.
But Teresa, it all goes back to look like a conspiracy that you and him are working together.
No. Never.
Everything points to that.
No. I told him to leave me alone. He wouldn't stop texting me or calling me.
Although David and Randy grew close, their relationship destabilized right before Randy's death. In March 2010, Randy noticed missing funds in the church's finances. Suspicious, he began digging into documents, and what he found was a pattern of corruption. All of the missing money's documents had David's signature on them. He had been stealing money from the church. Not only that, but Randy also discovered that David was hiding his son's DWI charges and homosexuality from the church leaders. Randy began confronting David through email about his corruption, but David refused to admit guilt. From Randy's perspective as a devout Christian, these practices were unacceptable, and he left the church. But things were far from over. Randy's email triggered David greatly, and as a result, David had a big blow-up in Randy's office, where he accused Teresa of being involved with 2 different men to cause a dispute among the couple. It was this incident that Teresa claims caused her to end things with David. Although judging from the way she continues to protect David, it may not be true, and yet another one of their plans.
He would just tell me that he could take care of it.
Could take care of what?
Could take care of him and I being together.
When was the last time you had a conversation like that? I mean, estimated, ballpark range.
A couple months ago,
Couple months? How often would he talk like this?
and I would tell him, it is not in your hands. It's in God's hands. If he wants us together, he'll put us together.
And you said that earlier.
And I said that several times to him. I told him. And of anybody. He should know that.
Of course he should. Of course he
And
should.
he knew I didn't like it when he said it either. I kept telling him, it's not in your hands, it's in God's hands.
What were his exact words? Exact words that you remember.
Boy, he
Now,
just,
don't try not to paraphrase. Try to tell me what came out of his mouth. If you can. Let me ask you a little easier question. How would a conversation like that even begin? I mean, put it in context for me. How would something like that even come up, or even how would that even start to happen for him to even make a comment like that?
well, I never really talked much. He, he would just start the conversation and just say that, we would do good together in the Lord's work, and he said, God sees what Randy's doing to you, and he sees what Kim's doing to me, and and he kept throwing Bible verses up at me, and what other Bible characters did in the Bible, and how they murdered and God still blessed them and stuff like that. And I was like, and I kept telling him, I'm like, that was then. This is now. God is the one that's in control, not us. We have no control over that.
Did he use the word murder?
No,
What did he say? I mean,
he never said anything. He just when we would have the conversation, he would just say that he could take care of it.
and what did that mean to you?
He would take care of it if I wanted him to, and I said, leave it alone.
Okay.
God will take care of it.
And what do you think he meant by that when he said, I can take care of it? Be honest with me.
I don't-
What do you think he meant?
I don't know.
Did you ask him, what do you mean by that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, what did he say?
Well, he kept referring to oh gosh.
The biblical verses here were later found talking about Israel's warrior king, David. King David orchestrated the death of Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, because he wanted to take her as his wife. David would say that the biblical David was still blessed by God, despite the murder he committed. However, Teresa would only say if God wanted them to be together, he would make it happen no matter what. It was clear that David had started to view himself as the warrior King David and had plans to murder Randy for a long time. This makes it even more suspicious that Teresa never suspected David of murdering her husband.
Things have been difficult between Randy and Love
Yeah.
since when? When did all that really kick up? Well, didn't he send an email to the pastor? Basically, it was kind of a long drawn out, this is the reason we gotta leave the church. How long ago was that? Do you know when that was sent? Because I remember
Yeah.
that you came down the stairs or something and you were kind of crying and you told Miranda, I guess we're gonna have to leave the church. And I think it was around the same time
Oh.
period, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually the day after.
Okay.
They were playing basketball at
Yeah.
the church, and Randy just kind of wanted to talk to Justin,
Mm-hmm.
about what was on his heart. And he just wanted to talk to Justin. He didn't want Justin to respond.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to talk to him. And and Justin just took it all out of context and just flat out told Randy that he was wrong and Pastor was always right.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of got Randy upset, and he's like, it's over. I don't know what his exact words were. I can't remember, but he just called me and said he just got into it with Justin, and that he was just tired of everybody thinking that pastor's always right, and that we're leaving the church.
Okay.
And I was just kind of silent on the phone, and I was crying, of course, and he said, "You can be mad at me if you want to," and I said, "I'm not mad at you." And he just said, "I'll see you in a few minutes," and I said, "Okay."
Okay.
And then Justin called me. I think what happened was Randy accidentally called Justin. Didn't mean to, but he did, and Justin called the house thinking that Randy called him.
Okay.
And Justin told me, he said, "You know, you guys are our best friends," and he's just said he was praying for us and stuff like that. So I went downstairs and told Miranda that.
Okay. And what time frame was that? You remember? What month?
You need the date?
No, just a month. Just a month.
Gosh.
It's
It was still cold outside, so I think it was probably the end of February.
all right. So since February up till the end of March, how many conversations do you think you had with David in which he would seem to imply that he could take care of things? How many different times?
Well, honestly, I don't know, to be honest with you. Man, I don't know.
More than 5?
In the last couple of months?
Yes. Since
Oh.
February, since the big blowout at the office?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Did the big blowout at the office, did that crank David Love, did that kind of crank things up? Did he start blowing your phone out and everything?
Pretty much.
Since that confrontation at the office, did he use that kind of language about taking care of
I never
things?
talked to him after that.
You never talked to him after that?
Mm-mm.
But prior to that, he had been saying things like that?
Yeah.
Did he ever give specifics?
No.
Tell me again about what he said about guns, about Randy's guns.
Well, and this conversation only happened one time.
Mm-hmm.
And
About the guns?
Yeah.
Only happened once?
yes.
Tell me what you remember.
Well, all he said was, well, you know, Randy has showed me. He has taken me down to his safe and showed me his guns.
Okay.
And I said, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. And then we just kind of got off the subject because I didn't want to talk about it anymore.
But within that context, was he implying to you that he could take care of things with Randy's guns? Is that the implication? Is that how you took it? I mean, your wheels had to be turning when he's talking about.
Well, yeah.
We're talking about a pastor of a church,
I know.
and he's talking about Randy's guns and taking care of things. Am I getting this wrong?
No.
Okay.
Then I would say, no. I kept telling him, I said, you need to leave it in God's hands. God's the one that's in control. And I kept telling him over and over again, if God wants us to be together, he will put us together in his timing.
Did David imply to you that he was willing to hurt Randy so that you two could be together? Or even did he imply that message to you?
Yes, he did.
And did you tell him that's a no-go?
Yes, I did.
Or did you tell him that's an option?
Oh, no.
Did you ever imply to him or lead him to believe that that would be an acceptable option?
No, I told him, I said, because he even implied it about his own wife.
Tell me about that.
Well, he even said that he would take care of her too.
All right. Let me ask you.
The detective is now trying to solve the biggest mystery of the case: exactly how the killer got a hold of Randy's gun without any signs of resistance. This is because Randy took great care of his weapons and would not hand them over to someone so easily.
We know that Randy was killed with his own Glock. We went out to your house, or your parents' house, and got shell casings, okay? From when he used to target shoot.
Okay.
And yeah, we already told you, they told you that night that they found a shell casing at the
Yeah.
scene. That
Yeah.
was, well, the ballistics, that was all that was checked out. They were same weapon fired those shell casings. All right?
Okay.
I want to know how anybody could get into that office, get that Glock, and shoot your husband. Because we're talking about the former war guy, the Marine, the guy who knows karate, the guy who was on his game, the guy who was always looking around and looking around for you. How would anybody get that gun away from him?
I don't know. I have no idea. I keep asking myself that all the time.
Well, we
I don't
know
understand it.
that whoever went in there, one, knew the gun was in there and how to find it,
And I didn't even know he had it in the
Okay.
office.
or two, somebody gave the gun to them and they walked in there with his gun.
But if,
And that makes more sense. Because Randy's not gonna let just anybody go into his office and go through dresser drawers,
No.
right? I've been in the office. Nobody's gonna go in there and even walk around his office to the back of his desk, because that would be, other than someone like you or Miranda or Michael, that would be probably very unusual for any customers or even church people to walk back there. There would be no reason for them to go back in his space.
no, he
Right?
didn't even like me going back there.
Exactly. So when the person came in, my investigators, and I trust them, I trust what they're telling me, he already had the gun.
Who had the gun?
The man who killed your husband had the gun already. There's no way he could have got that gun away from your husband. The gun was passed off to him, is what I'm trying to tell you. That is why I got 20 detectives out here that want your head on a platter. Who would have passed that gun off? Only you would have been able to do that.
No, I don't touch guns. I don't like them.
But you were in his briefcase. No, don't. I know you don't like guns, okay? I know you don't like guns.
It wasn't in his
But that
briefcase.
doesn't really matter, all right?
That's the only time I opened his briefcase, was to find that Avon book. Other than that, I never touched his briefcase. I never touched it. I never touched his briefcase, ever, unless he asked me to go get something out of it for him.
And you asked, but you did get in his briefcase to look for the Avon catalog.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Did you take the gun out of there and pass it off to somebody when you left?
The gun was
office?
not in his briefcase. The gun was not in his briefcase because I laid it flat on the floor. I opened it up all the way. There was nothing in there. He always had it. When I saw him carry it, and this was last year,
Okay.
when the last time I saw him carrying it in his
The
briefcase,
Glock.
the Glock. He always put it at the side of his briefcase underneath all of his paperwork. But you could see it. It was big. It was plain as day. You could see it there. It was not there. And I looked,
Did you ask him about it?
no,
Because, why?
because I haven't seen it in a long time. And he told me last year that he was thinking about selling it. And I said, well, honey, whatever you want to do. I mean, I don't care. You know, it's your gun. You do whatever you want to do with it.
Who would know that there was a Glock or a gun at all? Who would know about it and be able to get to it?
Well, here's the thing. Randy, every time somebody came to our house, and I hated this, but every time someone came to our house, he would always take them downstairs and show them his
He's
guns.
proud of his guns.
Yes.
But we're talking about office here. Because whoever murdered your husband, obviously they planned this murder to go down in the office. They wanted to make sure there's nobody there. They certainly didn't want to do it when you were there, right? and they wanted to use his own gun. Somebody had to be able to go, like I said, it had to happen one or two ways. They went in there unarmed, wondering, okay, I'm gonna go in there and see if I can't get his gun, and I'm gonna shoot him with his own gun. That's the plan. But that's not a very good plan,
No.
because if he's sitting behind his desk, how are they even gonna get to the gun, right? All right. So that's not a good plan. Secondly, they're not even gonna know for sure if the gun is there, because even though he liked to carry guns, that doesn't mean he's gonna take it that particular day. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I went copping, sometimes I run out the door and forget my gun. I have to drive back home and get it, all right? So they don't even know if the gun's gonna be there. So if they're gonna go in there and assassinate your husband, and that's what they did, they gotta have a plan, they gotta have a good plan. And it's not a good plan to go in there and just hope I can somehow get around his desk, somehow open up the drawers and look for a gun, and then somehow be able to point it at him wherever he may be and shoot him. That's a bad plan, because a lot of things can go wrong. But if somebody has the gun in their belt when they walk through the door, they don't have to worry about the gun issue. They've got the gun.
Yeah, but if Randy was in my office,
Mm-hmm.
the glass there in front of his office
Mhm.
is a mirror glass.
I know that.
So he should be able to see and be prepared or something.
He's in your office.
But if he's
What I'm saying is, he is in your office,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. Which really
Are
doesn't,
you-
it really doesn't matter where he's at. The point is somebody either has the gun when they go in, or they know exactly where to find the gun when they go in.
But I
And
didn't.
that's, does David know?
No, not that I know of.
Would David know that he keeps a Glock or any other gun, like, readily available right there in the desk drawer, or right there by his monitor, or what have you? Did you ever tell David that?
No,
Did you ever,
I didn't discuss guns with anybody.
you never discussed that gun?
No,
All right.
Randy's the one that discussed the guns with everybody. He's the one that told everybody, and I didn't even when like Joe Christensen would come in the office or David Eisen would come in the office, he would show them, you know, his gun and his big knife that he has in his office.
Mhm.
I didn't even like when he did that.
How do you think somebody would get the gun out of the office without anybody, without Dave, without Randy knowing about it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I have no idea. Because I would,
I don't want David Love to come in here and tell me that you guys met in some parking lot somewhere and you had a gun wrapped up in an Avon catalog and you passed it through the window.
the Avon catalog was at my house.
Okay, I'm just using that, you know what I'm saying.
No.
I don't want him telling me that you passed that gun to him.
If he tells you that,
Uh-huh.
he's lying.
But if he tells me that, it's logical.
He's lying.
Okay, but you understand the reason, you understand?
I understand,
Do you
but
understand
he's
how?
lying.
Okay. You understand how hard it would be to get that gun from Randy? Randy's not giving up his gun.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. Are you kidding me? I lived with you for 20 years. I know that. That's what I don't
Was
understand.
there anybody in that office while you were there that morning that would have access to? Is there somebody that you're not telling us about that went into the office that morning?
No, no one was in there
That
but
would have
Randy
been
and
in
I.
there and had access to grab
No,
the gun?
no one was in our office that morning but Randy and I.
Okay.
And that is the honest truth. No one was in there. I don't even think we had anybody come in and drop off payments except for the mailman.
Did David Love ever tell you when he's yakking about taking care of things, did David Love ever tell you something to the effect that, you know, I know he keeps a gun in the office, this would be easy?
Well, he knew about his little gun, yes.
He knew about the little gun. And I
Yes.
think David Love even told me that when I talked to him at the church.
Yes, he knew about the little gun. But as far as, I honestly thought he got rid of that thing. Because he told me he was going to sell it.
The little one or the Glock?
No, the Glock.
Okay.
I know he had it, but I hadn't seen it in a long time. And when Michael found the case,
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked that we even still had the case, because he told me he was selling it. And when he sells a gun, or when he purchases a gun, he buys everything with it. So I couldn't believe that we still had the case, and we still had. Michael told me we still had.
When Michael was about to look under the bed, why'd you tell him, no, don't look there, and then redirect him downstairs? Why did you do that?
Well, because I thought there was another gun under the bed, but there's not.
What
It
kind
was-
of gun?
It was down in the safe.
He's an 18-year-old criminal justice student. Who cares if he sees another gun under the bed?
Well, no, I just know that Randy used to put one under there,
Yeah.
and I don't
Why would that matter?
think it was the Glock.
Well, they were looking for a box.
Well, I know. I just did not know if it was under there or not. I didn't.
Why didn't you just let him look? Because
He did look.
He started to look, and then my detectives tell me that you basically encouraged him, no, don't look under the, and moved them away from the bed, and basically pushed them out the door to go down to the safe, and then you and some other folks stood up there, and then really Michael had to almost bulldog his way back into the bedroom, because he was determined to look under that bed, because he was sure it was under that bed.
Well, because that's where Randy used to carry it.
Well, but why did you look like you were obstructing what the detectives were trying to accomplish?
No, I was afraid that, because Randy used to carry, he had 2 different guns that he used to carry under the bed. One was the Glock,
Mhm.
and he had another one. I think it was like a 9mm or something like that. Well, Michael said that one was, I thought that one was one that was under the bed, the 9mm, but Michael said it was downstairs. So I was just kind of scared. I didn't want them, I was afraid that if they found that gun under there, that maybe we would get in trouble for having a gun under the bed.
There is no law that could have potentially put Teresa in jeopardy. As long as the gun was registered, there was no reason for Teresa to hide it. After living with an ex-Marine for more than 2 decades, you would expect she would be aware of this.
What do you need to tell me?
God help me, please.
No, you need to pray. You need to pray.
Please, God help me, please.
You know what God wants you to do. We both know what God wants. We both know. And we both know that it has to be done.
He told
It
me.
has to be done.
He told me that Wednesday night.
At night?
He told me that Wednesday evening at the crime scene
Okay.
that if you guys ask about the gun,
Mm-hmm.
that Randy sold it 3 months ago. I just have a feeling that he took it. I don't know how, I don't know where.
So you think that gun's been gone for 3 months? But Randy's never talked to you about that? Okay.
He told me that.
At the crime scene. If the police ask about Randy's gun, you're to tell them that he sold it 3 months ago. Do you think he sold it to Randy? Do you think he sold it to David?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Listen to me. Okay.
He also told me, and I should have called you. You know what he kept telling me? He kept telling me everything was gonna be fine. Everything was gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
He took my baby away from me.
How do you know it was him? Did you know it was him before you came into this room? Said a yes? And how did you know?
Oh, I can't believe he did this.
How did you know that it was him before you ever came up here tonight?
You know I haven't been sleeping.
Yeah, I know you haven't. This is tearing you up. This is tearing Miranda.
And
This
I'm
tearing
trying to
Miranda.
protect a godly man. Supposed to be a godly man. He told me in my room that next day
Mhm. Courage, Teresa. Come here. Come here. What did he, Teresa, what did he say?
he says, you know, if you tell them that I'm gonna go to jail for murder.
If you tell them what? Teresa, if you tell them I'm gonna go to jail for murder, but tell them what?
He didn't specifically say.
What was he at? I mean, he must,
I don't know. He
You
just
didn't
said
tell
if
them
you
what?
tell them. He said if you tell them that I did it, I will go to jail for murder.
if you tell them I did it.
He told me that.
Then why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us about that information?
I guess I was just angry at him and I just thought maybe God would just take him away and punish him.
Why did he go to Colorado?
I don't know.
Was that scheduled?
I didn't know they were going out of town.
What about Shelton?
I didn't know he was leaving either. I was
I
gone.
don't know if it was scheduled for him to leave.
Well, he had told me a couple of months ago that he was going to take his wife away for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that Shelton was going with them. But he wound up going to South Carolina instead.
Did he tell you when he went in there? Did he tell you what happened?
Yes.
What did he say? And if this is probably, of all the things we've talked about, this is probably the most important. What did he say happened?
You want to know what I told him?
Yeah.
I told him, I said, this is not the way God wanted it to be.
When is this conversation? The day after? In your room? Okay.
I was so mad at him.
And you told him that.
I wanted
It's not what guess if God, because you told him already. If God wanted us together, we would be together. Okay? And then what did you tell him?
I told him, I said, I think I literally told him I hated him.
Mm-hmm.
I told him not to touch me. And he kept telling me it was going to be fine. He kept telling me everything was going to be fine.
Okay. And then what else was said?
He told me he didn't even see it coming.
He said that to you?
Yes, he did.
Did he say how it happened? He just said he didn't see it coming. Did he say that he did it?
He didn't come out and say that he did it.
Okay.
He just said, oh my God.
Teresa? we're just gonna finish this. I'm gonna get you some water or something, okay? But we need to finish this little part up, okay? What else was said in that
That was it.
room? When he says he never saw it coming, what did you say?
I looked at him and I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then that's when he told me that, he said he walked in the office and he just aimed and didn't even look.
He said he did that?
That's what he told me.
So he said he pulled the trigger?
That's what he told me. He said he just aimed and didn't even look. He just did it. And I walked out of the room and I never talked to him anymore after that. I am not gonna protect him anymore.
Did he say how he got over there?
No.
Did he say what time it happened?
No, he didn't tell me any of that stuff. He didn't tell me anything. All he told me was that. Oh my God.
Do you believe him?
Do I believe him?
Do you believe him?
Yes.
Do you know where he was between, say, noon and 3 or 4? Do you know what his schedule was or anything, or where he was at?
Somebody told me he was at a hospital, but I don't know what time. I don't know where. I don't know anything. He told me he even told me he had gloves on.
Okay. Now, as we talk, you keep remembering little things, so I don't want you to forget anything.
I'm
So,
just tired of protecting him.
but tell me, let's not, like I said, you just told me about the gloves, so I'm just learning about the gloves. What else do I need to know? Because we're not going to protect him. But by gosh, if he did this, by gosh, you know where he needs to be, right? Okay. But we gotta have good, accurate, detailed information. That's why you gotta dig in that head of yours.
He told me the gun was 20 miles away.
They say where he dumped it. What about the phones? Now we know you got rid of one phone, right?
He said he ran over his, but I don't know.
Is the reason that you tore up the phone is because of what he said in the parking lot about the gun? You were scared that the phone might implicate you guys? Okay. So he says that in the parking lot, and then by that time your bells or your wheels are turning, right? Because he's telling you if they ask about the gun, he sold it. You tell him he sold it 3 months
And
ago.
it is awful. I'm so scared and I'm so upset that my tears won't even come out of my eyes.
It is okay. It is okay. Because, all right. It's okay to be scared. All right.
Teresa finally admits she knew David had killed her husband. This makes her an accomplice, as she purposefully withheld information regarding the case. She refused to contact authorities for more than a month after David's death. For the next few hours, the officer continued to pick apart Teresa's entire alibi. However, she still didn't reveal exactly how David got Randy's gun, or even admit she was involved in the premeditation of Randy's murder. The officers also tried to get a confession out of David by asking Teresa to call him and coerce him to admit he had shot Randy. However, this failed, as David refused to talk on the subject. For this interview, detectives felt they had squeezed as much information out of Teresa as possible and let her go for the day.
And
You're going to be tied up.
you said not to tell him anything about this.
No. Just tell him. Don't tell him about the search warrant, that we're going to be doing a search warrant. Tell them that you're gonna be held overnight pending further, what we call pending further investigation. Tell them you're on a 20-hour hold. That's 24-hour hold, that's police talk. That means, 24-hour hold means that we have a right to hold somebody for up to 24 hours without charging them or releasing them. So just tell them that you are on a 24-hour hold and there's nothing that they can really do for you until we decide what we're gonna do.
Even after this long series of interviews, detectives still did not believe Teresa. This is why she would be kept in a 24-hour hold in a cell and brought back the next day for another round of interrogation. But this time, a new detective would question her with a completely different approach than the previous one.
Ms. Stone. Again, my name is Detective Gardner. Here, let me get these cuffs off of you. Go ahead and lift your arms up. I know it can't be too comfortable. There we go. A little better? Okay. Is your voice okay? I noticed you were whispering a little bit.
It's just dry.
Just try a little bit. The water will help a lot. You've been through a lot, haven't you? Words can't describe what you're dealing with. Okay. You need to understand something. You know, I'm going to ask you some questions. We want to talk about some of the things that happened. Okay? You good with that? Right. Do you remember your rights? You read your rights. You signed your waiver. You still willing to talk to me? Okay. So water good? All right. You sure you're not hungry?
No.
Because I can get you a bagel.
No, fine.
Okay. All right. Teresa, a lot of things have happened over the past few weeks, past few months, that, you know, I'm very sure that you probably had no idea what was going on. Right? Right. A lot of things happen. That's okay, that's okay. You know what? You're dealing with a lot. If you need to cry, you cry. You don't hold it in. You just let it out. I expect you to cry. Okay? Okay. What are you feeling right now?
Scared.
Scared? What are you afraid of?
I miss my daughter.
I know you do. And you know what? Your daughter misses you. Your daughter misses you, Teresa. She's probably wondering what's going on with her mom. Where's my mom? I can't talk to her. I miss her. Okay. Are you afraid of anything else? Is there anything else that scares you? Anything bothering you at all? No, I know you had a lot of time to sit around and think. In that comfortable cell down there? Yeah, we know it's not very comfortable. Some of the things going through your mind, how did I get here? How did all this happen to me? You know, one moment I'm a loving wife and mother. You just got your insurance license, your agent's license. You know, that opens a whole new world to you, Teresa. Your world is looking good. Things are moving for you and grooving. Everything's happening. The next moment, you're sitting in a jail cell. You know what I'd like to know? And I know you talked to Detective Rosemore quite a bit about a lot that went on. Can you walk me through what happened? Can you walk me through this? You know what? Because it's going to ease your mind a little bit. It's going to ease your mind a lot. It's going to ease the mind of your family, Randy's family. This investigation has been going on for a while. And we've uncovered a lot of information, Teresa. You know, and you've been a great help. I really appreciate you being forthcoming with a lot of the information that you gave us. It's really good, really helpful for us. But I know there's some missing areas, there's some gaps there. And what we want to do now is fill those gaps in. So that when you walk out of this room, all the questions are answered. Yours and mine. Okay? You agree with me? Will that work for you? Okay. All right. Listen, we're not here to hound you. You know that? We just want to get to the truth. We want to know what happened and why it happened.
I don't know why it happened.
You don't know why it happened? Why do you think it happened?
I guess because he was desperate.
Ego
David Love,
was desperate for what?
me. I mean, I knew he loved me, but I never expected him to do anything like this.
Did he ever talk about this? Did he talk about hurting your husband? Taking Randy's life?
A few times he did, yes.
Okay, during those times, where were you?
Probably in the car, talking to him on the phone.
You were in his car or you were in your car?
Online.
You guys were on the cell phone and you were talking about, how was the conversation?
Well, sorry.
It's okay, drink as much as you like.
Oh.
You okay?
Oh, I have something stuck in my throat.
It's kind of hard to look at that picture, isn't it? Now you look at the face of that man and you tell me this man had your best interest at heart. Can you tell me that? Can you honestly tell me that? That he had your best interest at heart in his actions? Who do you think he was trying to serve? Please.
Himself.
Himself. He didn't give one thought about Teresa Stone.
I know that now. All the stuff he told me.
The stuff he told you, like what?
That he loved me and that he would take care of me. I just don't understand.
Did you believe him?
Yeah.
Sure he did. You thought, this guy's a preacher, he leads a congregation. Sure, what he says has got to be true. He's speaking from the Bible. But you found out different, didn't you? Teresa, you know what? I know, and we've talked about, you're not a bad person. You got involved in a bad situation. This is the bad guy here. And this guy's not doing you any favors at all. Not at all. We've talked to him. He's doing you no favors. And you thought he loved you? You thought he cared for you? Hopefully this guy's out of your life now. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Really? Teresa, some of the things that weren't clear during your interview, and we talked about this, some of the things that we just need to really narrow down. And I think and you have all the answers. Okay? Yeah, and I know you do. I know you do.
I want to do whatever I can.
Okay, well, walk me through it. Walk me through that day when Randy was shot. Normal work day?
Yes.
Okay.
We were having a good day.
Did you both arrive at the office at the same time?
No. We hardly ever did. Because I would take my daughter to school and then I would go into work. And he would come in anywhere between 9:30 and 10. Because he would stay home and work out.
What time did you go to the office?
I usually got there about 7:45 in the morning. I usually work from 7:45 to 3.
Okay. He got there a little later?
Yeah, he got there about 9:30.
Okay. Did you guys talk about much? What was going to go on that day? Anything different that you were going to do? Any plans you were going to make or had made?
No, I mean, I had a chiropractor appointment. Then I had to pick Rand up at 3, and I was supposed to take her home and come back to the office by 4:30 because we were going to work late.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 people that were coming in at 5 and 6.
Who was that?
The person that was supposed to come in at 5 was, her name was Levita Brandon. She's a client of ours,
Mm-hmm.
and she sells perfume and cologne, and I had ordered something from her. I had ordered something from her, and so she was just gonna bring it to me. We did have an appointment come in at 11. We wrote up a homeowner's policy.
So anything out of the ordinary?
No,
Nothing?
no,
Your conversations with Randy, what were they like?
they're fine. I mean, I was sitting on his lap a lot, you know, and kissing him like we always do. And we were talking about our vacation, our trip that we were getting ready to take. He had ordered some tickets for my son and his girlfriend to go to a concert in August.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just checking on concert tickets. We kind of looked at that together on the computer, and he said he was hungry, and I said, I hardly ever eat lunch, so I just really wasn't hungry. But he went to McDonald's about 12. Yeah, it was around 12:30. He went to McDonald's and came back, and we ate at his desk. And about that time, it was time for me to go to my appointment. I had a chiropractic appointment at 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also had to go to the bank because I had to deposit our checks.
Which bank did you go to?
U.S. Bank.
Did you go to any other banks that day at all?
Yeah, I went to the Bank of America on the square. That
Okay.
was about 4:40, something like that.
You make a deposit or withdrawal or?
I made it both of them were deposits.
Okay.
Bank of America was business and U.S. Bank was personal. It was for our personal payroll.
Any other banks?
No.
Okay. So after you went to Bank of America, where'd you go?
I went to the office.
Okay. What time did you get there?
I got there about 10 till 5.
Explain to me what happened after that. What did you see?
Well, when I pulled up in front of the office, I thought something was a little strange because the blinds were closed. And he never closed the blinds unless it's getting dark outside if he's working late.
Randy never closed the
No.
blinds?
He never closes the blinds. So I thought that was a little strange. Then I thought, well, maybe our computer guy, Tony, showed up early and they went and got something to eat. But he always calls me and tells me what he's doing. We always call each other and tell each other what we're doing. Always. So he never called me. So when I walked up to the door, I unlocked the doorknob. I unlocked it, and I went to unlock the deadbolt, and it seemed really easy to unlock because it's not really that easy to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that it was not locked. So when I opened the door, I went into Randy's office, looking for him. I went in the back. I walked in my office, so I lined up.
When you saw him lying on the floor, what was your first thought?
I just kept yelling at him to wake up.
You knew something bad had happened, didn't you? You knew something bad had happened, and you knew who had done it. Yeah, you kind of had an idea. You know, like,
And why did I say something?
yeah. Why didn't you?
I don't know.
How long had this been in the works?
I have no idea.
How long had you and David talked about this?
We haven't talked about any of this.
You didn't talk about this?
He always told me,
He who?
David.
Okay.
He always said that he could take care of our spouses if I want him to. And I kept saying, no, you're not doing anything.
So when he said take care of, what do you think that meant? Just say it.
Hurt him, I guess. I mean, what else would I think?
Hurt them, take their lives.
Yeah, that's what I kept telling him.
He talked about Randy, your husband, and his wife.
Yes.
Now, why would he do that? Why would he want to kill two people?
To have me, I guess.
To have you? He wanted you that badly.
I guess.
Okay. How about you? Did you want him?
No.
Did you want him that badly?
No.
You guys have been together for how long? You and David?
About 10 years.
Your relationship, your extramarital relationship with David lasted about 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got stronger as the years went on.
So it started off as what type
Just
of relationship?
like, close friends, good friends,
Mhm. Then it grew to what?
Sexual.
Okay, now you say it got
lust.
stronger. Sexual lust, and it got stronger. Okay, what's stronger than that?
Love.
Love. So you guys fell in love.
Yeah.
Okay, for that 10-year period when you carried on the extramarital relationship with the minister of that church, David Love, you guys fell in love. And you started talking about getting rid of your spouses.
Well, I never talked about it.
But you listened to him.
I did.
And you entertained his ideas.
I kept telling him, I told him over and over and over and over and over again, David, you know this is not right. You cannot do this. This is not what God wants. You need to just leave it alone and leave it in God's hands. If God wants them out of our lives, He will take them out of our lives. And he always told me that I was the stronger one. He always told me that I was the stronger one and that I was doing what was right. So if that's the case, he's supposed to be the pastor.
Right.
And I tried to break it off twice.
And why couldn't you break it off with him?
Because he wouldn't leave me alone.
He kept coming back?
He just kept calling me and calling me
Mm-hmm.
and texting me and texting me and calling me and calling me. And I just got tired of it.
You got tired of it and then what? Go ahead. Okay. You got tired of it.
He just kept making me feel bad.
Okay.
So
While you were in this temporary relationship with this guy, you guys are falling in love now. You're looking for ways to get rid of this guy.
I was not.
No. David Love.
Oh, yes.
Because what?
Because I didn't want to do it anymore.
You were done with him, right? You wanted him out of your life.
Because I loved my husband and I wanted to be with my husband only.
Okay. Did you tell your husband that?
What? That I want to be with him only?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he know that?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say about that?
Who, him?
Yeah.
He kept telling me that my husband was a fool. And that he called him Nabal, which is a name of a guy in the Bible who did a lot of foolish things. You know, I know my husband wasn't perfect, and I know he did a lot of foolish things, but he was a very good man. And he put him down all the time, and I just kept saying, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
And
But he
I kept,
wouldn't?
I'm sorry?
He wouldn't?
No. Every time we talked to him, he just kept throwing things back in his face. His past, he just kept throwing everything back in his face.
Well, Teresa, you said you love your husband, you want to get rid of this guy, get him out of your life. He wasn't having any part of it. He wouldn't let you go, would he? That's what I'm saying. You're not a bad person. You know, you got caught up in a bad situation with a bad guy and something bad happened. Your husband got killed. I even venture to say this guy was probably planning on killing his wife after he killed your husband. What do you think about this guy? Like I told you earlier, he's not doing you any favors. And I want you to answer one question for me right now. Right now, don't hesitate. I want you to answer one question for me. Did you know he was going to shoot your husband?
No.
Did you know he was going to kill Randy?
No.
Did you know he had an intention to go in there, the business that night, and shooting your husband dead?
No.
That solves his problem. He's on the way, and now he's got you, and you're all he wants. Did you know he was going to do that?
No,
Did he tell you he was going to do that?
No, he did not.
Did he tell you he was going to shoot Randy that night?
No, he did not.
What did he tell you?
I never talked to him that day.
Did you talk to him at all the day before?
No.
You didn't talk to him the day before? You didn't talk to David Love the day before Randy got shot? Are you telling me no, you did not? Keep in mind, we have all your phone records.
Oh, I know, I understand.
Immediately after this line of questioning, Teresa is given a short break before the detective returns once again, this time with an officer to assist him in shaking out the truth from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa, did you know this man?
Teresa.
David.
Things ain't good, Teresa. They're not good at all. Okay?
I did.
Listen to me, Teresa. Things are not good. And you're here today because you need to worry about you, Michael, and Miranda. That's what you're here to worry about today. Okay? You're not telling the whole truth. Listen to me, Teresa. There's more that you know that you have not told. It's time to tell it. Okay? If you don't, you're hurting yourself. This is not about anybody but you. You understand what I'm saying, Teresa?
I do.
I'm serious. We've known each other a long time.
I know.
Okay. This is about you, Teresa.
I know. I am trying to be honest.
Okay. You don't have to try to be, Teresa. You know more than...
I am being
listen,
honest.
Teresa, you know more than you've told them.
No, I don't.
They know more than you're telling them.
Do you understand that, Teresa? We know a whole lot more than you've already mentioned. And you won't even talk about the things we already know you know.
Don't dig yourself into a hole.
What do you want me to say?
Walk us through the planning of Randy's death. How you and David talked about it.
We never talked about anything.
You did. Teresa, you talked about, you said it yourself. David would talk about Randy.
Yes, he talked about taking care of Randy and his wife. And I kept telling him, no, he cannot do this. This is not the way it's supposed to be.
But what he wants to know is step by step, word by word, what he said, what you said, what happened. What happened? Don't, you're talking general there. Be specific.
He told me that he could take care of it. He told me that he could free him and I both, is what he told me. And I kept telling him, I told him, I said, no, you're not.
Did you ever ask him how he would do it?
No.
Did you ever ask him how he could do it?
He never told me, well, he did tell me. He did tell me, he said one shot to the head and he would be gone.
One shot to the head, he'd be gone.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say after that?
I said, no, you're not going to shoot my husband.
Did he say one shot to the head and he'll be gone, but I don't have a gun? I don't have a weapon.
No.
And you said,
He's,
I've got one.
no.
I can get one for you.
No, I did
can put
not.
one in your hand.
No, I did not.
What did you say?
I never said anything.
What'd you say?
He's the one that said he could get a gun. He's the one that said he could get one.
Did he tell you where to get it from?
No, he did not. He never told me where he could get a gun. And I never told him anything. Because about guns. I don't like guns. I don't want anything to do with them. He's the one that told me he could get a gun.
He knew you had a gun in the safe.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What are you trying to tell me?
I told you earlier. He had a way to get into our house. Nobody was home.
So you thought he was talking about stealing Randy's gun and shooting Randy in the head?
I didn't know what he was thinking. But he knew Randy's guns were in there because Randy had taken him downstairs several times and showed him his guns.
And David was, of course, looking over your shoulder as you were getting into the safe, so he knew the combination to the safe.
Yes.
Therefore giving him access to Randy's guns. Which you well knew. You see this puzzle we're piecing together, Teresa? It's already been put together and torn apart and put together again. Now we're giving you an opportunity to put it together.
Opportunity for you to tell your side, the truth, because that's what people's going to hear. That's who's going to decide your future, is the truth. Anything less than that's not going to help you at all.
I did not.
Understand that. We're not saying that you did. That you just need to tell what you know from the beginning, step by step. That's what you have to say. And I'm not going to tell anybody. I haven't said anything to anybody about anything. I never will.
No.
It's for you. It's your time to tell what you know. It's not going to go away. It is not going to get any better. And the only thing that you can do is tell what you know step by step.
Teresa, this gun didn't just magically appear in his possession.
I did not give it to him. I did not give him no gun.
What are you thinking if you tell us that you did give him the gun? What do you think it's going to do to you? Is it going to make you look bad because you provided the weapon that he used?
If you are telling me that because if you want to say that he was downstairs, he watched me open the safe, he knew the combination of the safe, he knew where the gun was, if you're saying that that's the way that I
That much we know.
provided him the
That
gun,
much we know, Teresa.
then that is the only way.
And that's not the way I'm saying you provided him the gun, though.
I never gave him no gun. Never. I am telling the truth, David.
Okay?
I never gave him a gun.
Okay.
I never gave him any sign to do anything like this.
Go back to what you said earlier about him telling you specifically one shot in the head. How did that come about? When? Teresa,
He only mentioned it one time,
when?
just a couple of months ago.
What month?
I don't know.
Do you remember what was going on that time of year? You know, was it warm, cold, close to a holiday?
No.
Where you were at? What brought it up?
He always brought up the conversations. I never did.
Okay.
I always tried to discourage it and get off of it.
Okay.
I always did. I always told him. This is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not right.
Have you thought
Can't do
about?
this.
You're saying that you just don't know how this happened as far as him getting a gun and stuff. Have you thought in your own mind, how do you think this happened? Has that crossed your mind since Randy's death?
I don't know. I don't know.
You've been through a lot. And you're going to be through a lot more.
I don't understand. I don't know why he would do it.
You said why you would do it.
Well, he did it because he wanted me.
There you go. Now,
But because I stopped talking to him.
you made a decision, right?
Yes.
And he made a decision also, didn't he?
He made a decision that if he couldn't have me, nobody could.
Okay? And that's why we're here today, is because people made decisions. And today's about a decision for you. And Teresa, the decision is, you gotta just lay your cards on the table the way it is, okay?
I didn't give him the gun.
Again, did we say that you physically handed him the gun? Nobody said that. How did he obtain the gun?
I'm telling you, the only way he could have done it is just went in our house and took it out of the safe. He had the combination to the garage, he had the combination to the alarm code, and he had the combination to the safe. He had it all. He had everything. Because
And how long has he had that?
probably when we went out of town to Argentina in December.
Prior to that, he never had that.
No. No. Because Randy was just having him, take our mail in, our paper, and stuff like that.
And take it into your home, or take it home to
No.
his home?
Take it in, lay it on the, kitchen table.
So you're
No.
saying the gun safe he got when you all went out of town on this trip?
I cannot tell you when he took it.
I'm saying the combination. We ain't talking about when the weapon's missing.
Yeah, he could have gone into it then.
Randy wouldn't have been aware that the gun was missing from whenever the trip was. Wasn't that around Christmas or Thanksgiving?
That was after Christmas.
After Christmas, so we're talking a couple months here. He wouldn't notice that it's missing.
But he just doesn't. Well, because they had already cleaned the guns before we left and put them back in the safe.
Who's they?
Michael and Randy. They cleaned the guns when Michael was home during Christmas, and then we left to go on our trip. But I never.
You know more than what you're saying, Teresa, and that's the whole point, is there's more information. And some of the things you said have not been the truth. You have not told the detectives, listen to me before you start talking, okay? I don't want you to justify yourself. You do not have to justify yourself to me, okay? I am not setting in judgment of you, Teresa. I am not in any way, shape, or form setting in judgment of you. What I'm telling you is we're talking about what happens from here forward and how that affects you. Because people have already made decisions. You made a decision. David Love made a decision. And this is why we're here today. It's for that reason. And so where we go from here doesn't affect me, Virgil. It affects you. It affects your children. Where do you want to go to from here?
He's making sense, Teresa. He's here to help you.
I know. And if you could just tell me where I am missing out. I am not remembering, I guess.
You're not remembering?
You're telling me I'm leaving stuff out. I don't understand.
Okay, let's back up to when David Love told you one shot to the head. Let's start there. During that conversation, you said, okay, all right, one shot to the head. That ends our problems. But then we have one more problem. We have his wife to deal with. He already told you had a plan for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Break her neck, put her in a car, make it look like a rollover accident. Okay, then it's the two of you guys, wherever you go to the islands or Vegas or wherever you're gonna go. Whatever your plan was, whatever God's plan was for you according to David.
I didn't have a plan.
Okay.
David had the plan.
David had a plan, and you were just kind of going along for the ride. And you didn't set all this up, but you know what? You were part of the plan because he told you about it. And you never even bothered to pick up the phone and say, go talk to your mom. David's talking crazy. You didn't do that. You kind of went along with his plan. You said earlier you said you're stupid. You're not stupid. You just made a bad choice, man. You understand that? Bad choices? You talk to your kids about bad choices and bad decisions, and you talk, once they make a mistake, what's the best thing for them to do? Confess it. Talk about it. Put it out there. Only way you're going to get healed or help is to talk about it. You're in that position. You're in that position that you put your kids in sometimes. Okay, Mom, I'll tell you the truth. And then what do? They tell you the truth, don't they? And what do? What do you do once they come clean with you? Once they're honest with you, what do? As a loving, caring mother, what do?
I try to tell them that that's what they should always do.
Yeah. Every day, with every choice that they make, put God first, like you said. Because God knows your heart. And we're sitting here, and Sergeant Ison has talked to you, and you've known him, you've called on him, you've talked to him a couple of times. He's told you some things, he's told you things that could help you. And you're still holding on to that sin because you don't want to let it out. You don't want to say, okay, I knew he was going to kill my husband. This is what kind of plan, the way the plan went. I don't think I want to talk about that because it's going to make me look bad, like a bad person. Teresa, you planned this with this guy, David. He told you what he was going to do. And now he carried it out. He did it. He made you accessory to everything he did. You provided him with a gun. You told him what time would be the best time for him to go down there and shoot David. Yes, you did.
I did not.
You did. You told David, go there in the evening.
I did
There's not going to be anyone there. You make sure. But he said, no, I've got a funeral to do that day. I don't know if I can get it done.
I never said anything. I never talked to him that day.
You didn't talk to him that day at all? No phone calls, no phone messages, no texts, no voicemail?
He left me a voicemail and I checked it. And I told you that's the same day that I texted him and told him to leave me alone. He has messed up my life.
He wasn't about to leave you alone because he cranked it up a notch, didn't he? He cranked it up a whole lot when he went in there and one shot to the head. That was his plan. He told you about it and he did it. He executed your husband for no good reason, Teresa. And you're fully aware of it. And the next day he's at your house. And I asked you, why didn't you just pick up the phone and call the police? The man that killed my husband is standing right here in my living room. And you didn't do it because you're scared of him. Teresa, your husband's dead. Your husband shot in the head in a business he built for him and you and your family. And you could care less about that.
No.
You could care less because you want to move on with your life.
That is not true.
Well, you tell me what's true, Teresa.
I did not expect him
What did you
to kill my
What
husband.
did you expect, Teresa? Look at this man. Listen to what he's done to you over the past 10 years. What do you expect him to do?
I was trying to get him to leave me alone.
You didn't do a good job of it because he didn't leave you alone. If anything, he did something that's going to bring him closer to you. Eliminate the problem for him, which was your husband, Randy. And he did that.
I never asked him to kill my husband.
You may not have asked him to kill your husband,
I never
Teresa.
said anything to him about killing my husband.
But did you say, don't you do that?
I
You did
did.
not tell him not to
I
do it.
did too.
What'd you tell him?
I told him, don't you ever do that. I said, don't do that. I said, you're not, that is not right. You're not thinking
What'd you
straight.
tell him he should do then? What was the alternate plan?
I told him to let God deal with it.
Let God deal with it?
Yes.
How?
If God wants them out of our lives, He will take them out of our lives. I told him that over and over and over again. I don't know how many times I told him that.
And what did he tell you?
He said, you're the strong one. He said, yes, I gotta get this out of my head.
He
I
told you
never-
you're the strong one.
That's what he always told me. He said, you're the strong one.
Is that a position of power that he put you in, or is it a position of power that you earned?
I don't know.
He told you were the strong one. You told him if God wants those people out of our lives, if God wants your wife dead, He'll kill her. If God wants my husband dead, He'll kill him. And what's David hearing all this time? Go ahead and do it, David.
I never said that to him, ever.
Go ahead and do it, David, Randy, and we'll be together.
No,
What'd you tell him then?
nothing. I didn't tell him to do anything.
In his mind, he's thinking, okay, David in the Bible did some killing and God forgave him. David in the Bible killed a man whose woman he wanted. He killed Uriah.
I know
You understand that?
Yes.
Who did he want? He wanted Uriah's wife. Guess what? Here's David, love, not in the Bible, killed a man because he wants his wife. And you're right along with the plan.
I was not along with that plan.
You didn't do anything to stop it.
I didn't know he was going to do it.
You had every reason to know he was going to do it, to suspect he was going to do it.
What?
He told you.
He did. He told me what he wanted to do.
He told
And
you
I
what he
told
wanted.
him, no,
And then
he's not doing
Did the
it.
conversation end there? Did you guys
Yes.
stop talking about
Yes.
it? Did you talk about it anymore?
No.
After that? No more?
No.
So what'd you talk about after that? Did you move on to something else?
I was trying to move on with my life. I was
Okay.
trying to get out of his life, and he would not leave me alone.
Well, you told me that. You told me he wouldn't leave you alone.
He would not leave me alone. He called me, he texted me, and I wouldn't answer. And that made him more mad.
And matter. Because he's closer to you now because he's eliminated the problem. He's eliminated your husband. He's got no reason to believe that you guys can't be together. Only one more person stands in the way. Thank God he got caught. Or his wife would probably be dying too. Do you ever think about that? Teresa, here's your opportunity. And that's why we brought David here to talk to you, so you'll know. You know the monster this guy is. You know the monster David Love is. And for some reason, I think you're still trying to protect him.
I am not protecting him. I did not know that he would go through with this. And that is true. I did not think he could do something like this. I never told him to take Randy out of my life. Never.
But you told him if God wanted him out of your life, he would do it.
That's right. In his timing.
In his timing,
In God's timing.
in your mind, and in his mind, it's okay to do it now.
It wasn't in my mind ever. I never.
It was in David's mind.
Well, it wasn't in my mind. And I told him that time and time again.
Did you do anything to take it out of his mind?
Yes, I kept telling him to stop thinking about it. Leave it alone.
Did you ever tell him that if Randy is dead, you and I are still not going to be together? Did you tell him that?
Yes, I told him that. I said, we are not going to be together until God puts us together.
And he's thinking, why are you leaving the door open? You're not closing the door, Teresa. That's a closed door. That's an open door. Every time you said, until God puts us together, that leaves the door open for him. Every time you don't kick his butt when he says, I'll shoot your husband in the head, that's leaving the door open for him. Every time you listen to his little weird plans, and you're entertaining him, you're just sitting there, the door's open for him. He's thinking, okay. He's not told me I can't do it or don't do it.
If I ever said anything against him, he would get mad at me.
Would he ever hit you?
No,
Okay.
he never hit me.
Did he yell at you? He's mad at you, so he's sitting there staring at you, so he's mad at you. What does he do to you? What does he do to you?
No.
What does he do that scares you so much, Teresa?
You're afraid of him, aren't you?
Yes.
And that's obvious.
That's the only thing that's going to change. You're protecting yourself. You're making yourself safe today being here. It's time for you to make yourself safe.
This guy's a monster. He's a monster, Teresa. What he's done to you and your family is unforgivable. Help us put him away for life.
I am trying to help you put him away for life.
How did he get the gun?
I don't know.
What time did he go by the business?
I don't
He
know.
called you.
I was already on the
Did
road.
he call you and tell you don't come here until a certain time?
No, he did not. He told me, he texted me and told me, he said, urgent, seriously, do not go to the office by yourself.
What car was he driving that day?
What car was he driving?
Yeah.
His car, I guess.
Which is what?
Silver Buick.
Did you see him in it?
When he came to the crime scene, yes. They told me he had a funeral, and they told me he was at the hospital. That's what they told me. That's all I know. I never talked to him that day except for listening to a message that he left on the cell phone. That's all. I texted him, he tried to call me and I wouldn't answer. I texted him and I told him, you're messing up my life, leave me alone. And I never talked to him anymore after that. He tried to call me several times. I think
Why should you go to the worry about going to the office alone? Who was you supposed to take with you?
I don't know. I was supposed to go to the office. We were supposed to be working late.
And if you all had this broken up relationship, why is it he coming to tell you at the crime scene what happened to the gun? Why was that important?
I don't know. I don't know, David. He had this all planned out and did not tell me anything about it.
But you probably surmise a few things. You probably have an idea why it happened.
I did not tell him
Did I
to
say
do
that?
anything.
Teresa, I didn't say anything what you said. I said you have a belief, an ideal, knowledge
I didn't.
of why it happened.
I didn't.
Didn't say that you told anybody. I said you have knowledge. Okay? Why would he tell you not to go there by yourself? Who were you supposed to go with? Was you supposed to go there at all?
Yes, I was supposed to go there.
Why?
Because I was working late with Randy. We had an appointment coming in at 5 and one at 6. I was supposed to go back to the office. Those were our plans that we talked about that day. Our appointments.
With such mounting pressure, Teresa still doesn't admit to conspiring the murder. Instead, she tries to paint a picture of David's impulsive and irrational personality. This is why the officer decides to rile up her emotions and ask about the weapon once again.
I never told him to go into my house and get a gun and kill my husband. I never said anything like that. I told him no. No, I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want anything like this to happen. I was trying to get away from him. I wanted him to leave me alone so I could start fresh with my husband.
Right now it's your time to start fresh.
I am telling you everything.
There's more.
Like what? Please.
Teresa, you're talking very general. You're not talking specific.
Pacific what? I don't know any Pacifics. I know no Pacifics. I don't know what was in his head. I don't know what he had planned. He never told me anything.
You want him to go away for the rest of his life, for taking your husband's life, for taking Randy's life, and you said that he told you he was going to use a gun to put a bullet in Randy's head, and you just said that he went into your house and got that gun out of there. That's what you just said.
Well, that's the only thing I can figure, because I, from the bottom of my heart, the truth, I never, ever handed him any kind of weapon whatsoever.
I believe that. I believe that.
None.
I do. I believe she never actually handed David Love a weapon.
I never told him to go do anything like this.
You're talking about handing and knowing, you know.
I did not know he was going to do this. He talked about it, and then he would say, no, I can't do that. That's not right. And I was like, no, you're not doing that. That is not the way God wants it to be. And he would say that. He would say, no, I can't do this. I can't think this way. That's not right. I mean, he would say that.
How many times did he say that?
Well, he only talked about the one time about shooting Randy in the head. He only said that one time.
And what did he say exactly again?
He said, I can do it with one shot to the head.
I can do it with one shot to the head. He was talking about himself, saying, I can do it with one shot to the head.
That's what he said.
He didn't say, you can do it with one shot to the head.
No.
He said, I can do it with one shot.
That's what he said. He said, I can do it with one shot to the head. And I said, no, you're not. I said, you will leave him alone and you will stop thinking this stuff. This is not right.
That's good. That's good.
God is the one that is in control here, not you. I kept telling him that. You are not in control. God is in control. Just leave it alone. I try to tell him that over and over again. Every time he would say something he would tell me that his wife made him upset or something like that. I think he was trying to get me to say, well, what do you want me to do? But I never would, because I'm not that type of person.
Okay, so, okay, yeah, I need some water. I was just thinking about one thing, though. When I asked you, what do you want to see happen to David, you said, I don't know.
I want to see him put away for life. That's what I said.
I think if someone had just shot my wife in her head, had just walked into her business and pulled the trigger, just shot her in the head.
Would I like to see him?
I'm thinking I would have been so pissed. That's just me. I want to see that's me. I would have been so mad. I would have known exactly what I want to happen to that person. I don't think I would have said, I don't know. Maybe I think you're still trying to cover up for it a little bit.
I am not.
Yeah.
I want him out of my life. I want him out of my life forever.
Okay. How's your water holding up? You good? You good?
8 months after Randy's tragic death, Teresa finally decided to come clean. Teresa contacted the authorities and finally admitted that she had given David access to Randy's gun. She also confessed she wanted Randy out of her life and had planned his murder with David. Therefore, months after Randy's death, David was finally arrested for first-degree murder. He entered a plea deal with the authorities, so his charge was reduced to second-degree murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 2036. In April of 2012, Teresa formally pleaded guilty to conspiring to commit murder. Teresa and Randy's children begged the judge to show mercy to their mother. They could not bear to lose another parent. Taking her clean record and plea deal into account, Teresa was sentenced to 8 years in prison, the maximum sentence allowed by law. Although Randy's entire family believed Teresa deserved a harsher sentence, his mother voiced she was satisfied with her punishment.
I think Teresa needs help. That's what hurts bad, is I love Teresa. But I just wanted her to at least get enough time to sit there and think, was it worth it? You know, why not just get a divorce? At least I'd have my son, and the kids would have their father.
Teresa is now a free woman. She has started a new life in Kansas City with her partner and children. Do you think Teresa's sentence was fair? Yes or no? Tell us in the comments down below.